This is a real B&H birthday story. We've been known for our customer service since 1973. Looking good, fellas. And today we're 50.
There's a lot of towns where you could go where a man could hang his hat.
Well, they got microbrews and mega stores, but we ain't down with that.
Well, there's a place I know right up the road where the beers are always cold,
where a beat-up truck and a fishing pole are worth their weight in gold. Going downtown Radioville, where you can kick back or have you the craziest thrills. You probably won't learn much, but maybe you will. We're going down Radioville.
Now let's check in on the boys and see what they got themselves into this week.
Flawless victory, like always.
Dude, that's a back-to-back, baby.
And a little pause before the intro music, as is stylish.
Yeah.
In this time, which is considered the modern era, I think.
I think this is. And also, let me just say this. This is the way to do the podcast.
Just Tom runs away 5 seconds before we start. He comes running across the room right before we start going, now let's see what the boys got themselves into this week. Jumps into his chair. I'm like, yeah, music's frozen. Good. This is great. It's good to be back in studio, though. You know what I mean?
It is. All right.
And Tom.
Oh, boy. What?
Tom,
What did I do?
I wanted to let you know I do intend to indulge in one of your Russell Stover's chewy
One of my
stevia
fruit
gummies
chews?
later. Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you
Those
what.
look
It's so
delicious.
funny. Vinny and
There we go.
Vinny and I,
Welcome to the show.
earlier this week, we were going over some business during a rousing match of Fortnite, and which is where we do all of our business, really. Right. And at some point, I was like, dude, I wish I could just eat fucking. I was like, if I could be healthy and eat Starburst for all my meals, I would do it. And he said, oh, yeah, fucking Starburst. And then yesterday, I'm in the store and I saw Russell Stover's makes a sugar-free. I think they call them fruit chews or
Russell
something.
Stover's chewable, fruity, stevia
Dude,
gummies.
they are awful, but they're also heaven.
What a couple of names.
They're terrible. They taste
gonna be
they taste caustic, but they will suffice.
Yeah, they're good.
It's heaven. I don't care.
There's going to be a lot of product placement tonight in honor of the Super Bowl. This is Dr. Pepper, throwback Dr. Pepper. All of these companies have been paying us thousands of dollars a week, like I talked about a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
to not talk about them.
Yeah.
Now they've upped the ante, and they've given us enough to
Talk about them.
yeah.
Which makes
So-
no sense.
Well,
So don't think about it.
the idea is we're such verbal assassins that they
Yeah.
just wanted to keep their products off of our show
Oh,
because they were
yeah,
afraid we would trash
Ruin.
them so thoroughly that the international community would be aghast at what we had exposed. But now we took a lesson from the Super Bowl and we will be showing you many products tonight. There again, this label, this is the old label from Dr. Pepper.
A lot of Illuminati symbology. In
Yeah. Oh, no. It says 10-2-4. You see that?
Yeah.
You know what that is?
10-4-2, buddy.
This is the times you're supposed to have a Dr. Pepper in the
10
day.
a.m.,
So
2 p.m., 4 p.m.
Back then, their thing was like, yeah, for a little pick me up at 10 a.m.
Why not?
You have one, then again at 2, and then at 4, so you can ride your horse home, and without falling
With
asleep.
a nice sugar buzz.
Yeah, man. That was back in 1885. Yeah, people didn't know.
What idiots.
Yeah. So here we go.
Yeah,
guys.
back to the studio. Let me see here. Becklerex, hey yo, Radio Vial. Let's get ready to chat. Pump it up. And then pump it, baby. And then yeah, daddy, yas.
Yeah, that's a new thing. We're pumping it in the chat tonight. So I want to see a lot of that.
Cake Doom says, suck my cups. Alana Magnifico's just with a box of some sort. Cool. Just a square. Back to stream. Yep. And then there we go. Connie says, go like the podcast. Yay, back to the studio. And there are so many sugar-free candies, and I understand that. But I've never been a big fan of them because they always
They usually have some kind of crazy poison instead of sugar.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like I don't like to eat sucralose or aspartame or any of these. But when you're going into
Aspartame is basically just like chemtrails that they collect into like it's a distillery. And
they're like, get it off. And they're like, whoa, that's sweet.
Right,
Let's feed it to the plebes.
Right, and then they put it in fucking Snickers or whatever. Yeah. That's
And
my
also
understanding,
Dr.
at least.
Pepper.
And no, this is throwback Dr. Pepper with real sugar. That's what I'm saying.
Oh. Looks flat as fuck.
You don't trust it? It's not. It's quite.
It looks so flat.
It's crisp and delicious.
That looks like what comes out of fucking a 90-year-old man's dick.
What are you talking about?
You know, when he
Do they get like
climaxes.
that? Whoa, no. You had to mean urine. That's far more grotesque. And it's thin like that too?
Yeah.
And like watery?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm getting there.
Yeah, most people would have gone powder. but you're just going extra thin, dark liquid. It's like blood, or what's coming out?
That was actually part of an old Rogan bit about
Oh Jesus!
about fucking Hugh Hefner when he was describing, like, he had heard Hugh Hefner was asked.
Left-wing liars,
Yep.
losers, creeps, perverts, and freaks.
No, he was. He heard. This was, I mean, years and years ago. He had heard Hugh Hefner asked a question about his like 3, 19-year-old girlfriends at the time when he was like 70, and Hugh Hefner responded, "Well, I think they all feel very lucky." And he goes, "Oh yeah, lucky me! Oh, am I the one that gets to chew on the half hard tonight and all this shit?" And the other two are holding her hair back while she's retching to the side. And then it was like a whole bit, but that's what he said that came out was like some sort of flat Pepsi mixed with ashtray.
And then now you just said it.
Yeah. But that's what it looks like. That's the conjured up image when he did that bit. That's what I imagined.
All right, I'm gonna do some Bill Hicks now.
Okay.
If you do a commercial, you're off the artistic roll call. Oh shit!
Yeah, throw it.
Fuck, get this out of here. All right,
Simpsons. Then another Simpsons reference. You throw it and it blows up over there.
all right. Listen, let's do our own material, guys. How about that Super Bowl, right? Who watched it? Anybody? I saw the last part of it.
Oh, the
Here's
Super
what I like.
Bowl,
Here's what I like
everyone.
now.
Hey, let's hear it for organized sports.
Sure, we never do that. It's a little sports talk tonight.
Yeah, sports talk. with Tom and Vinny.
I like that the prevailing opinion, like all you see in comment sections and all you hear from like people at work or people you run into or whatever is like, why would I watch this fucking rigged? Everyone just this year decided that, like, people have been saying it obviously
Oh, yeah,
forever. I've seen interviews.
Pretty convincing evidence out there.
Yeah, there was a guy, like a former CIA guy or some shit or whatever, FBI probably actually, and he did a string of interviews 10 or 15 years ago that had me convinced that, like, he's like, we've been tracking this for decades, and why would you be naive enough to think that the amount of money changing hands on an NFL game
is not going to
is
garner
not enough
corruption?
to, right?
What are you
Exactly.
talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
So, but I like how it finally came to a head this year, where now literally everyone just goes, "Well, it's fucking rigged," and then it led me to think, like,
You know what was probably in it when it came to a head?
what? That? All right. I still have to drink this.
I'm sure it's delicious, dude. It's fine.
So I'm thinking about it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this would be a crazy fucking, because people range from where they go, it's completely scripted,
Yeah.
to they go, well, no, you can buy, okay, I understand you can buy an official and a kicker.
Yes.
Or whatever
That's all
the
you
fuck.
need.
You know what I mean? And a few plays can, like, make a huge difference, right?
A few
But
calls, yeah.
people go so far as to say it's completely scripted, and you're seeing all these
Yeah, that's
videos of like, I mean,
Oh.
do you know how difficult it would be to script this kind of, like, acrobatic
It's idiotic.
chaos?
Yeah,
You know
these
what I
people
mean?
fucking
Like,
flying literally at their top manageable possible speed.
oh yeah, doing
These are-
things that are scary.
Oh,
You know?
I've never understood this. Even back when I watched football avidly, I never understood. Like, I always thought, like, how am I not seeing
Somebody get killed.
every play?
I know.
There's fucking these people. These are guys that can literally. I mean, have you ever seen the combine when they're going into the NFL? These guys are taking 200 fucking pounds and just seeing how many times they could rapidly bench it. They're going fucking 50 times, 100.
Yeah.
It's insane. These guys that are doing this are made out of muscle. They're like fucking just beasts.
But then football fans will go, dude, the fucking modern NFL is pussy shit or whatever. I'm like, dude, yeah, that's like a 250-pound guy turning himself into a torpedo.
Yeah, running,
and just like literally
he's got
off
a
the fucking
4.8
ground.
Yeah.
How is that? Yeah, I didn't see
he's
Dick
running a
Butkus
4.8.
fucking doing shit like that.
He's
like-
230 pounds of pure muscle.
Yeah.
Wearing fucking a battering ram on him.
Yeah.
And then just fucking accelerating to the point where he can't control himself anymore and then just smashing into all these other guys that are doing the same thing.
And then for some reason, they've all got like giant dreadlocks now. Like, why is that what you would want to have?
And
You
also,
know,
for
like-
some reason, they all get up and dust themselves off instead of getting up crippled.
I know, yeah. I mean, yeah. They get hurt, but imagine if you had to take one of those. I mean,
I would think probably I would feel the impact, and then I would go get up and realize I now have cerebral palsy.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would fucking hit you so hard you'd have leukemia.
I would have leukemia.
Yeah.
Have CP.
Right, all kinds of shit. Scoliosis,
Scoliosis for sure.
That would.
Well, I
be
wouldn't even have a
instant-
spine anymore.
Instantaneous and devastating scoliosis.
Deterioration of the spinal column. Yeah.
Just complete. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not getting through that. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, so your point is that people that think you could script a game are idiotic.
It is, right?
No,
Am I
it's-
stupid? Because,
no.
but I do get that, I'm sure there's some level of corruption, and yeah, at some level it's probably rigged. And like, how many of the Super Bowls in our lifetime? Oh, they all go to overtime.
Yeah, every
It's
single
all
time
this
it's
thing
all
playing out at the end.
longest.
There were a few suspicious clips I saw of where it's like, yeah, why didn't that guy try to block, or why didn't that whatever?
Oh, you can do
And
that. You can.
yeah.
I would think that if you're going to script, or if you're going to not script, if you're going to fix a game, yeah, you could pay a guy off to like leave a hole, like a defensive lineman to like, not cover or not cover a hole for a running back, and then have another guy like one of their fucking D-backs fucking not cover the one of the wide receivers that's gonna get, you know what I'm saying, like where it'll look kind of like he just blew coverage, but really he just actually blew coverage on purpose.
Yeah.
But then you got the refs where they'll just call holding on a play where they just broke away for 30 yards. You know what I mean? And are like now poised to score, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry, offensive holding, bring it back 5 yards back." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that'll fuck the game for you completely. That's all you need.
It's funny, though. So, yeah, we've reached the critical mass where everybody thinks that it's completely rigged. And, like, every comment section I look in, everybody's like, oh, the satanic devil NFL.
Oh,
and
really?
And it's all rigged and stuff. And that might be part of my algorithm, personally. But the other thing I'm looking at, I don't follow this shit. I didn't really understand why everyone was talking about Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
which I never understand why anyone's
I don't
talking
either.
about Taylor
She's
Swift.
awful.
She's not attractive at all to me. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I don't understand where. Okay, so if we're talking about,
she did like country music, I think, right?
that's where she started.
Okay.
But it was never country. It was that like new wave of sort of country
But there's
pop,
something satanic about her, first of all.
which I actually call cunt pop, just to like
Yeah.
shorten it up a little. Instead
There's-
of country pop, it's long. I just call it cunt pop.
I know. Well, we got to save time. We're busy
Yeah,
guys.
we're busy guys. We're
And
yeah.
there's something very like satanic about her fame. You know what I mean? Where there's a certain echelon of people where you go, okay, why you?
Yeah, you didn't make it.
Why you instead of
And
the other 10,000 people
yeah.
who were trying, and you got to wonder, like, okay, and then, so you got this guy, Travis Kelce. I've looked into this a little
Yeah.
bit today, right? I don't know what he does. What is he on?
He's a football player.
Well, yeah, I know, but I don't know what he
He's
does.
a
on the
wide
team.
receiver.
Okay.
Or is he a quarterback? No, he's a
I
wide
don't
receiver.
know.
He's a wide receiver.
So you got this guy, right? And he's well known now for what we're going to show you if you got that video I sent you.
I do.
He seems to have jumped on board and in bed with the pharmaceutical industry and have done a few commercials that may kind of rub people like us the wrong way.
For sure, especially at this point in time. Yeah, let's take a look at that.
And then I'm
have
going
a
to
nice
complete.
commercial.
I'm going to complete the picture for you because I'm starting to see the whole thing. I'm like, I get why people think this is a giant creepy fucking scene because you got this like fucking demon lady. Like when I see Taylor Swift, I literally, and this is my old like underground music tendencies and fucking hating pop music too. But I see her and she just looks like a demon from another realm. To me, like some kind of black-eyed, soulless fucking thing that's been set loose on our planet. You know what I mean? And I'm not even joking at all. I mean,
No. Oh my God! Don't stop talking about her.
yeah, I know.
Oh, they got me.
She's jumping down your throat as some kind of
yeah.
gin.
Holy
She
shit!
just sent a gin.
Gin.
But that's what I see. Okay, then I see this guy. I don't know what the fuck he is. Let's look at him for a
He's the
second.
poster boy for cucks. That's
Yeah.
what he is. Now let's watch.
Travis, did you know you can get this season's COVID-19 shot when you get your flu shot?
Two things at once.
Oh.
Two things at once! Two things at once! I'll have the two things at once, please. Now back to two things at once. Two things at once.
That's not two things at once.
Mom!
Travis, ask about getting this season's COVID-19 shot.
Okay, can I say two things at once?
Yeah.
No, I can't.
No.
Well, fuck you, but that's two things. I didn't say them at once. But so a couple things about this. I like that their major selling point. They know who they're selling to.
Oh, yeah.
They're not selling to anyone that has given this any thought whatsoever. So
No discerning minds are targeted.
They're still trying to sell the vax. They paid this guy
It's insane.
They paid this guy like $20 million to do this.
Yeah, which a normal.
But their major selling point, their hook for this marketing campaign is, hey, you just get it while you get your flu shot.
Don't worry about what the two things are.
Right.
There's two things.
There's
at
two.
Once. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And that's as deep as
deep as it can go, too.
That's as deep as it is.
Yeah, that's as deep as they can go with that. But look at his face, too.
Yeah. That's a guy who was just given the keys to the cunt.
Yes.
You know? And so, you know what I mean? Because here's what happened. They have her. She's been under control of some demonic entity for years now.
Forever.
Her parents fucking sold her or something. You know what I mean?
She was crafted.
They were Luciferians.
She was crafted in a basement or a tunnel somewhere, probably in New York.
I mean, she's made of like Tinker toys and clay. You know what I mean?
Also, she looks like she looks like if Machine Gun Kelly were to go in like actual drag.
Yeah.
That's what she looks like to me. She doesn't look female.
She kind of looks like a Gumby character or something, you know?
Or a Gummo character.
What is that? Oh, Harmony Korine? Yeah, that would be cool. We'd all love to see it. But she is clearly, right, an evil fucking presence.
This is what the right has been saying. Go. Sorry. Yeah.
Listen, so this guy now, famous football player, he jumps in bed with the Farmos. He's getting in the fucking Eyes Wide Shut area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's starting to get
Which he could have just ran in. They can't stop him.
Will you plug this for us? We'll give you a demon princess.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he's got her.
Yeah.
Now they just magically get to the Super Bowl. All this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the whole thing, I get why people, you know what, like, I get why people think it's scripted who are just sick of seeing everything play out this way, you know?
Yeah, that's obviously manufactured. It is sort of, the whole thing is sort of like watching the WWE at this point. Like, you know what's going to happen. You know who's going to be where and who's going to win what. And
right.
All that shit. But, Taylor Swift, on a real note, I've never thought she was good. I mean, it's not a type of music that I would ever listen to, really. It's just not anything that... It has no flavor. It's just
why?
Like,
but it's like you got to wonder about the staying power. Like, there's plenty of people that entertain 13 to 15-year-old girls for a few years. And you know what I mean?
Hell,
but
we
like,
both had our years. You know what I mean?
Just long ago.
Long ago, guys.
But so why is it that her fans range from like 10 to 60 or whatever? And it's like, this is...
Well, because she's plastered on every
That's what I mean.
Yeah, the marketing behind it. Well, and then also a lot of people say, well, her catalog was just bought by a
massive
corporate conglomerate that is basically funded by George Soros. And so,
See?
Yeah, so her catalog was basically just bought by George Soros. It's not George Soros. People are like, no, dude, you're fucking... It's like, no, he didn't buy it himself and put it in his pocket. It's not how things work. A company that he fucking heads or funds bought them. So that's like being like, BlackRock didn't buy that house. You know what I mean? They did, though, through one of the fucking subsidiary realty companies. Anyways. So that was another thing, is like her being basically bought now by a Soros, branch.
But it is weird, too. I saw a bunch of the clips where it's like they kept showing her during the game. And like, the NFL has been doing this for fucking 20 years. You clearly are trying to drive away your fan base. Yeah. Like, I don't give a fuck about football or any of this, but it's interesting to see when we talked about this with like the Bud Light thing. It's like, hey man, like, you can't tell me that you didn't know how your base was going to react to this Dylan Mulvaney thing. You can't tell me that the NFL, with all of the shit they've done in the past 20 years to like soften the image and to take the edge away and make it family friendly and make it this and make it that, they've driven away tons of their traditional fan base, right? And they still keep doubling down. Let's have fucking a bunch of black people do halftime.
I did hear this. Now, I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
But also, let's keep cutting to Taylor Swift when it's clear. Anyone who knows anything knows that everybody is like, keep her out of it. Yeah. We fucking hate it.
There's no reason to do it anymore.
So it's interesting that they keep doing it.
Yeah, because
it serves another purpose.
Yeah,
they have to do it. It's not a good product anymore.
Exactly. without going so deep into this, but yeah, I was just watching Brett Weinstein on Rogan the other day or yesterday, and he has a name for this now, where there's so many companies that are going against their own, you know what I mean, profit motives.
Yeah.
Which is denoting that there's something else,
Some other motivation
above it.
Yeah.
Deeming this necessary. Because there is no other, explanation for it. Anyways, but I actually want to go into that maybe next week. But yeah, as far as all of this shit goes, I mean, the Kelsey thing, though. $20 million to promote a vaccine that we now know doesn't fucking work. That the only thing it seems to do is fuck people up if they're the wrong person. The $20 million, to put that in perspective, I think that's like one of the biggest commercial payouts that there's ever been for an ad campaign.
I would guess so.
Like regularly, if you get a giant one, it's like $5 million. That's huge to just fucking, be on a few commercials for some product.
What kind of mental state is someone in after all of the fucking discussion and the way that this dominated politics and social everything for this many years? Who is still in this much of a haze that they see that commercial and go,
"Oh, I can't do
I
two
could
things."
get it." Like, have you not made your mind up by now?
Yeah. That's another thing.
How is it worth the price of that commercial to make it and then to air it during the Super Bowl or whenever they did it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is like for it to be worth it to pay this guy $20 million. Look, we all know this, and if you don't know this, I won't say go unalive yourself, but
Go jump in a lake.
Yeah, a fucking deep one wearing concrete shoes. Oh, you know what I'm saying? No, but if you don't know this, that mega corporations don't give a fuck about your health or your well-being. So we know that. So they're not paying $20 million fucking dollars for an ad campaign. Like, we have to get this out there so people will get vaccinated and not be sick.
It's the right
thing.
They're
doing it because it's a product, and they're making billions, so that $20 million isn't shit. And we've already gone into, on this show and on every other fucking show that they do it, like, the profitability of these are only paled by, what? Ozempic, which is breaking records again.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. And also breaking bones because it's leaching all the bone density out of people.
Breaking DNA structures
so that's
down.
Nice. Yeah.
Amino acids.
Yeah, and then this is the other thing about this vaccine is like this mRNA shit, what the fucking inventor of it, which Robert Malone, everyone on the left was trying to say like he had nothing to do with inventing it. Yes, he did. He holds fucking multiple patents on the technology that is used to make it. He was one of the first people talking about it. He was one of the first people doing it. He was coming out during the pandemic, and that's why he was kicked off Twitter, off of Facebook, off of fucking YouTube and all that shit. And Rogan was one of the only people that would have him on at the time. And he was saying, this isn't safe. I was injured by it. I thought it was good. I fucking was injured by this. It is not. These lipid nanoparticles do not do what they're saying they do. And what it looks like is just that whole emergency authorization act that was contingent upon no other treatments being available, hence the ivermectin demonization and the hydroxychloroquine demonization and shit. That whole thing basically ushered in a new product that nobody really knows what the fuck is. They just keep hearing it. Oh, that's just a new kind of vaccine. You know what I mean? It's just, oh, that's good. No. Now, this mRNA shit is now like being talked about in the WHO's treaty and shit. Like how now it's gene therapy is really what it is. You know what I mean? So this whole fucking thing, this guy is I don't give a fuck. First of all, do you not have enough money?
Yeah.
Being an all-star receiver in the NFL, do you not have enough fucking money that you could be like, you know what? 20 million's a lot, but I think I'll get some fucking blowback from a lot of my fans for this vaccine shit. I'm going to pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's got to be something else. Unless he's just such a money-grubbing fuck that he just can't stay away from 20 million. I mean, I guess that's possible.
And they
but
promised him an eternal connection with Beelzebub.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, there's got to be some other factor at play there, right? Because why the fuck would he do that? He knows the reaction that most of the NFL fans are going to have.
Well, they are now until the end of time locked in the sick, hellish embrace of Satan.
Ooh.
And I truly do believe that.
Yeah. If there is a Satan.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is what it is. If it's figurative, they are it.
I mean, this is probably
You know
just
what
like
I'm saying?
a computer program, anyways. Yeah, that's what I think. And then, yeah, so there we go.
There we have it. I think we've fucking.
They came from hell, scripted the NFL, and they're fucking around.
And that's what they're doing.
and
That's what they do.
They're probably going to start working on Washington, D.C. soon.
Oh,
You know?
they're not there yet?
No, they started with Travis Kelce. He's the first one to fall in the spiritual war we're now fighting.
Alex Jones has been yelling about this for years.
Yes, he's been saying for 25 years. They will enact this Illuminati plan to one day take over the mind and soul of an NFL player. And once that has happened,
it's the fall of civilization.
Right. It's
mankind be no more.
It's the canary in the coal mine, ladies and gentlemen. I like how every year I used to get all like fucking pissed off at everybody that would be like, look at all the Illuminati symbolism in the halftime show.
I know.
Like,
I was always like, shut up. It's a triangle.
Yeah, and also just don't watch it. The people that are watching it and enjoying it, a triangle isn't doing anything to them. They're only doing it to bother people like you.
Yeah.
Or fuck with you or whatever. Sam Smith comes out.
Yeah, but now I'm starting to think differently.
Yeah, I don't know. Once in a while you just start to see it like
why is this so everywhere? Like why?
Well, yeah. I mean, it is. It's the.
Who are you communicating with?
It's like the evil rulers just like gloating from a crystal tower. You're kind of just okay. Is this where we're at? Anyways.
That apparently is where we're at. All right. Well, the Super Bowl was great. Glad we talked about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys
I don't know anything about football. We just immediately, let's talk about the Super Bowl. It just immediately goes to demons and fucking.
I was going to say,
it's the only way
I don't know what the score was. I don't know who won. I don't know if anyone was injured. I don't know what the fucking cool commercials were. I don't.
Much as early peoples, interpreted celestial events and in nature in all of its splendor to mean that gods had become angry or were happy even or whatever.
Unless you were the Dogons.
Much is the same way that we interpret the NFL.
Yes.
It's just
we see it as bones cast out in front of us to interpret as we see fit.
Like tea leaves and shit. Tarot cards. Anyways.
All right, what do we got next?
We got to get into this, and we got to move quick.
Oh, Tucker Carlson.
I think this might bleed into the second hour a little. But
that's fine.
We'll see. All right, guys. We're going to Mother Russia.
We sure are.
Because something crazy happened. Everybody knows about this, right? The U.S. won't talk to him. The U.K. won't talk to him. The media smears him. Nobody's really heard the guy talk other than in brief sound bites where you have to trust some other translation. Tucker Carlson goes to Russia and says, I want to talk to the man himself, old Vlad Putin.
Vladdy Poots.
So, first off, there they are. It's a really surreal type of thing. And also...
Yeah, it was pretty bizarre.
Another moment
honestly.
Where we go, okay, how is this dividing up? Because we have so strongly for so long believed in the total theater of politics and media, right?
Yeah.
And now you have this...
Well, I haven't, but...
Yeah, you have.
Neither of you.
You have this mainstream media guy, right? That you would traditionally have a hard time believing is doing anything really against the narrative, right?
Tucker.
Yeah. So, but now where are we again? Is this all part of the script? Is this all part of the plan?
I don't know.
I know.
And I'm fucking tired.
I know. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of the seventh dimensional backgammon.
Yeah,
I just sucks.
Just fucking just show your hand. I'll accept it.
Yeah, can we just fight it out already?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Seriously, you guys have all the fucking talons and fucking warlocks and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So now we're supposed to interpret this. I guess we didn't have to.
No, we really didn't. What I thought was funny is, you know what? Let me flip over to this other little thing here. So I remember, and this was hard to actually find today because everyone sort of walked it back a little. But when they first started saying this shit, okay, so you would see things like this is the Seattle Times. Here it is.
So because
Comrade
he-
Carlson goes to Moscow.
Yeah, because Tucker Carlson wants to. He goes, why don't we just go see what the guy has to say?
Yeah.
I'm a journalist. I'm not going to go there to be on his side or something.
The funny thing is, he's not a journalist. He's an anchor. Yeah, he was an anchor, but now he's like the only one doing actual journalistic
Yeah,
work.
the
It's
past few
fucking
years
weird.
I've seen him that way. Yeah,
Yeah, like he's become a journalist, but he was just a fucking anchor forever, and so that's a weird thing, anyways.
So
but
this is the American media's immediate reaction.
Yeah.
You got mocking
Comrade
things.
Carlson goes to Moscow. Now look at this. Tucker Carlson, the former Fox News spinmeister.
Hold on, is that guy's name David Horsey?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, you don't get to fucking talk.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
You can't have that name, David Horsey.
No.
Why does everyone we look at have to
Everyone.
be hilarious?
I know. Also, if anybody didn't like growing up, just call him horse shit.
Yeah, David.
Like he should have just been like, "Hey, horse shit." You know what I mean? I would have. It's not that clever, but also it's just demeaning.
David Horsey.
I would have just called him horse shit.
Tucker Carlson.
The former Fox
Are we looking at
News
this, or?
spinmeister just paid a visit to Moscow and was closely followed around by the admiring state media before topping off his trip with a cordial to. It's just this. It's the tone that these guys all took. Here, let's see. Actually, the PBS one was not too bad. Here's a CNN one. What was this guy? Tucker Carlson. Oh, Jesus Christ. Tucker Carlson is in Russia to interview Putin. He's already doing the bidding of the Kremlin.
Oh, sure he is.
What are you
yeah.
talking about? He hasn't even done. This is at a time when nothing had even happened.
What a fucking weird. Dude, how surreal is it, too, having grown up in the time that we did, which was a while ago. But would you have ever thought the Christian right would become aligned?
The reasonable.
But aligned with Russia?
Oh.
Because that's what's kind of turning. Because they'll go,
Yeah.
Trump was somewhat cordial with Putin, and they go, "How could you?" But you know what I mean?
And then the Christian right goes, "Oh, they don't like that."
Exactly.
Let's lean in. Yeah.
And so now it's Tucker Carlson, who's was the biggest cornball of all fucking time.
Dude,
And
he was a
just-
laughing stock.
I never expected to be interested in any single thing he would ever do.
No.
And now all of a
much
sudden,
less think it was important.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe I would be interested in lampooning him for some stupid shit that he did.
Yeah.
But the fact that I said this the other day to you. Are we in a state of the world right now where it is up to Alex Jones, fucking Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, and fucking Donald Trump to save humanity?
That's why it
that's
seems
insane.
so hard to believe, and it seems like it's just another fucking little 1-2, you know.
But you were saying earlier, though, it's like you see the moves coming when it's scripted. You know what I mean? You know how it's going to end. You know what's going to end up. That's what we were just saying is people are sick of oh, we know how this is playing out. Oh, he's going to get with Taylor, and then it's going to be, and then he's going to win. And then, you know what I mean? It's it's sort of, nobody would have seen that. Joe Rogan, first of all, nobody even knew him before this podcast. I mean, I did, but you know what I mean? Most people, it's not like he was a household name,
right,
by any means. Alex Jones was as fringe as you could fucking get. Donald Trump was, you know what I mean, just some fucking fast-talking dipshit, real estate fucking...
But nobody really considered to be socially relevant.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was sort of had branded himself in a way that sort of made him synonymous with wealth in a lot of ways, or American, actually more of American excess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was sort of notorious for having shady dealings with the mob in New York, and you know what I mean, having just shady business dealings, period. And and then you have Tucker Carlson, who famously was just torn to shreds by Jon Stewart years ago and made to look like an absolute fool. And that's what I'm saying is I don't think those four would have been picked.
Yeah.
If you were scripting something, it seems like if you're choosing to write something, you're not going to choose the most impossible things to try to bring together at the end.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I mean, unless you had calculated people are going to be watching for this.
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna
they
be
know
more
everyone
aware.
believes. 90% of people don't even pay attention to anything. We're the
Yeah.
idiots that do. You know what I mean? And even if it was organic, we're going to question it anyways because we're just skeptic.
Yeah.
So
When I met Alex Jones, one of my first thoughts was I don't.
Why is his dick so tasty?
I think my first thought was I think he might be a reptilian or something because he just didn't look right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I was suspicious because, I don't know. I've been hearing this guy on the radio for years and stuff, and now he's standing right here. We're shaking hands and everything.
You're like,
and I'm just like,
look
and he's
at you once.
fucking huge, dude. He's like a giant. I have a picture of me with him where I was like,
I have seen that. Yeah,
like,
I've seen that picture.
5'11", 6 feet, whatever I am, and then like 200 pounds, and it makes me look like a fucking child.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
his head was
you're not
looked
human.
massive.
He didn't seem human. I don't know. So yeah, I know what you mean. Be suspicious forever.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm suspicious of all of this.
I'm suspicious of you. I'm suspicious of
this
me.
room. I don't know. Half the time, I figure this is all just gonna fucking dissipate.
Yeah,
disappear,
I wake up.
and we're
Oh
just
fuck!
gonna
And I'm
be
still in 5th grade or
No,
something.
me and you were like
"Aw."
freezing to death on a mountain.
Oh, yeah.
We're like pretending I'm dying of gangrene, and you're just going.
I'm eating that leg.
Just imagine we had a failing talk show that we were frustrated all the time and didn't know how to do it well.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's like Of Mice and Men. I'm telling you the story because you're dying of gangrene and I'm dying of hypothermia, but I'm like, I'm spinning a yarn about a fucking failing talk show we did.
I just beat a woman to death in the neighboring camp because she wouldn't let me pet her bunny or whatever it was.
Whoa,
you remember?
pet her bunny, everyone.
Yeah, well,
yeah, but anyways, okay. So as far as the interview of Putin goes, though, I thought it was somewhat feckless to me.
What does that mean?
Feckless?
Yeah. You don't know, do you?
Without teeth, you know what I mean? Like anodyne.
Just say a normal word. Just these fucking word a day calendar fucking thesaurus
it's
things.
Feckless, like harmless. Nothing really there.
Sure.
It's a good way to say what I can't actually say because it's a very specific thing. If you know it, you'd know what I mean. But you're just asking me questions to make me feel like I'm a fucking
freak. Innocuous a bit.
Innocuous is a different sort of thing.
But it could also apply.
Kind of. Innocuous, I would
ambiguous.
say. Ambiguous. Not really.
Oh, okay.
No, but like anodyne, feckless, toothless, nothing burger.
An anachronism.
Yes. But yeah, I just thought it was, I don't know, it was fucking 2 hours of Putin, telling us about the fucking 4th century Russian Tsar of fucking Ivan the Great or something. I was like, what is...
I don't know. He did make some good points.
No, he made some points, but I'm saying it wasn't like any... It was nothing that I expected it was going to be.
Well, he tells his side of it in a way that we don't
It's a very
hear.
Russian.
Well, yeah.
Very Russian approach to the interview. You know what I mean?
Like he talks about... And it's it's a lot of the same. I couldn't help but draw parallels to. I mean, it's like, when is the last time we had a ruler of a major European country, one of the top 5 economies in the world, who has gripes about being ignored by the world community, promised things that didn't happen, have agreements gone back on, and land disputes with neighboring countries? Like, when was the last time we saw something like that building up?
It may have been around 1912, like around the turn of the last century.
30s.
Oh, no, that was the First World War, I'm thinking of.
So,
38.
So and then he tells it, because if you listen to like some tellings of the way that World War II led up, it's like there's a way to make Hitler look reasonable and having been provoked.
Oh, people have made that argument. That's not widely publicized when people do.
Not a great thing to say on a talk show either.
No, but I've definitely heard it. Look, I'm a person that is like, okay, I've never thought this. Let me see what kind of ridiculous bullshit this is.
Sure.
And then inevitably, this is how Flat Earth worked. This is how, this is all. Inevitably, they have arguments that they know most people aren't going to have a counter to. And so they can kind of pile those up and sort of build a narrative that you're not necessarily equipped to, you know what I mean? So some of it seems more reasonable than I think it would be if you actually had the entire picture. You'd be like, wait, no. Like
right.
the treaty of this, that's bullshit what you just said.
Whatever. I mean, there's, he talks a lot about the Minsk agreements, where it's like, okay, we're gonna back off our military presence in Ukraine, and we're gonna attempt to convince the pro-Russian Ukrainians to acquiesce more to the Crimean Authority or whatever the fuck.
And what about the amateur Ukrainians?
They're all to be beheaded.
The pro-Ukrainian.
That's how things work over there.
Okay, but the amateurs.
a treaty is always like 20% beheading. Yes. That's how it works.
If I write it.
That's international politics.
Yeah.
But so anyways, then his claim becomes like, well, you know, we did what they asked, and then
they still fucked us.
And then they still kept attacking.
Well, one thing is,
but who do you believe? I don't know. And the other thing that does seem legitimate is like, you know, his thing with the UN has always been the major point of contention in all of this, and it goes back to, you know, the early 90s where it's like, okay, we want you to agree to break up this, give this one back their land, give this one, but we promise we'll not have the UN go any further east, blah, blah, blah. And then it did. And so, I mean, he's got a legitimate case.
That's a legitimate case. The other thing that I thought was very interesting was when he was saying, at around that time, when he was discussing this with the U.S., he had mentioned to Clinton, hey, what would you think about us joining NATO? And he said, oh, let me get back to you. And then he got back to him and said, oh, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Right.
So now he says that this is provable. The people were there. The people know that this is a matter of record. If that's the case, now this is a thing. Now, NATO was formed to keep the Soviet Union after defeat from doing what it tried to do. You know what I mean? If Russia itself is going to now join NATO, then NATO no longer needs to be there, right? So it's like you couldn't admit them, or you have to just disband the whole thing because there's no more threat. It proves that there's no threat. If they're willing to join you and work with you, then there would be no reason for NATO. It's like they almost would have to be like, no, you're the boogeyman, though. We need you over there so we could keep expanding our shit. You know what I mean? We can't have nobody over there.
And another thing I thought was interesting, because he talks about, the international community, the Germans, Polish, Latvia, whatever. But when he talks about the U.S., it was interesting to me because he, a bunch of times, kind of alluded to the fact that, like, his problem has never been with U.S. elected officials or U.S. Citizenry, that it's more with the clandestine ops stuff.
It's the what did he keep calling them?
Well, he called them the CIA directly.
He did call them, but a lot of times he was calling them the intelligence something. It was it was something very Russian. But he kept calling them, like the Intelligence Association or something.
I can't remember. But he seemed to want to make it clear that it's stuff like, you know, he's going, okay, you know, the reason they're over here, and he goes, and don't, you know, make no mistake, there's a bunch of shit going on in Ukraine that they're not telling you about, whatever. And the reason that they're fucking with us here is because that's what they have always done, and that they've tried to keep out of the media. And then I'm thinking, he goes, they'll back anyone who's against us. And we know the most famous example of all, right?
Yeah.
Do you know it?
The most famous that we backed that were against Russia?
Bin Laden.
Oh, yeah, the Afghanis.
I mean, but
what was the actually Mujahideen?
At the time, or Taliban.
Yeah. I thought it was the Mujahideen. Maybe that was who they were.
I'll go
backing.
Taliban, and then we'll.
I can't remember. Was the Mujahideen the one that the Russians were backing? Because it was really two proxy wars.
Whatever it is, it's always pipeline related.
Totally.
And then when you go to the situation now, of course. There's, you know, what is the one thing that's functioning in all of this? There's a pipeline that goes through Ukraine.
Yeah.
From Russia to
Europe, to Western Europe.
There's another one that got blown up.
Hey,
the Nord Stream,
which we now have the evidence that we did that.
So
NATO forces led by U.S.
We should actually watch that. Let me find that one. But let's see. I'll find this in a second. But no, I mean, he basically comes out and says like that that we blew up this pipeline. And there's one, interestingly enough, that is still functioning, going to Germany, and the Germanys are putting sanctions.
Yeah, they
won't accept the oil now.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is going on?
Dude,
this is how the world works at the top levels.
Yeah.
And it's so it's a dysfunctional fucking crack house, dude.
It's like a dysfunctional, you know, it's like watching The Office or something. You know what I mean? Like where Toby versus Michael Scott, you know what I mean? It's like all the departments don't communicate and they're always trying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like in real life, I'm saying if you've ever worked at a small corporate. You know what I'm saying? Like HR is always fucking up the ass of the fucking, the whatever. It's just
No, I know what you mean, yeah.
nobody can get anything, smooth. And nobody cooperates. Everyone's always fucking trying to backdoor somebody and gossiping about. You know what I mean? It seems like at the very top, it never ends.
Yeah.
It's just that. All right, what do you got?
Our timestamp is 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 33 seconds.
The following is an interview.
1 hour.
Yeah, I just wanted to play
And what?
1 hour, 11 minutes, and 33 seconds so we can hear what he says about that pipeline. blowing
yeah.
up. And, he also mentioned in here, like, he makes no bones about it. The CIA is his lifelong enemy.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, I mean.
You know what I mean? It's like, how weird is it to be a guy like that? Like, he was part of the KGB for like 16
he's definitely
years.
not feckless.
Oh, no. He's got teeth in everything. Yeah.
He's got teeth everywhere.
But it's naive, I'm sure. But when I watch this, I almost want to believe, because like he hates everything that I hate about this place, and I don't hate the USA, of course, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
But I do hate a lot of this bullshit, like we're talking about.
Well, I've hated a lot of what's going on in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
and he seems
for
to
sure.
have the same gripes I do a lot of times here.
Well, the other thing is something to keep in mind while we watch this is, and this was another thing that jumped out at me watching this video, is we kept being told by our intelligence apparatus here, and then via the corporate owned media sort of outlets, that Vladimir Putin at the outset of this, of this conflict, was like dying of cancer. He had secretly had cancer for 5 years before this.
Yeah.
He was wasting away. That's why nobody saw him and all this shit. I saw this. I'm like, this guy's in his 70s and he looks better than any of our fucking presidential hopefuls.
Dude, look at one of
You know
our,
what I'm saying?
but also look at one of our presidents after they've been in office 4 years.
Yeah, this guy's been ruling 25 fucking years.
Which is also fucked up in its own
It
way,
is,
I guess.
but I mean,
unless
shit works
he's-
differently.
dude,
You know what I
unless
mean?
he's-
You've said it before. Maybe a monarchy is the way to go, because when you get down to it, libertarianism sort of devolves into a fucking monarchy, and you need a
Well,
benevolent ruler.
And people just in general aren't interested or informed enough to like vote in their own fucking
Yeah.
best interest or anything.
Yeah,
Like, you
so
can't
you
have
just
a
need-
democracy is stupid.
It makes no
stupidest
sense.
thing ever.
Which
But-
yeah.
So okay,
But yeah, so let's watch this here, shall we?
Realizing this, actually return to common sense, start respecting our country and
Did you
its
get the right time?
interests, and look for certain solutions. It seems to me that this is
1:11.
much smarter
Here, it's
and
coming
more
up here.
rational.
Here,
Who
right
blew
here.
up Nord Stream?
You for sure.
I was busy that day.
Charming.
Nate, do you have? I did not blow up Nord Stream. Thank you, though.
У вас лично, может быть, есть алиби. У вас лично.
You personally may have an alibi, but the CIA has no such alibi.
Okay.
Do you have
I
evidence
just
that
like that
NATO
part.
or the CIA did it?
Hold on
yeah.
one second.
Вы знаете,
You know, I won't get into details, but people always say in such cases.
No, get into details.
He never does.
I know, but he's a fucking he.
Like how he asks if Tucker Carlson is, he's like, no. And he goes, and for some reason he goes, but thank you.
Yeah, but thank you for thinking I
For
could.
thinking I could swim down hundreds of meters and with a bomb. That's
but thank
very
you.
kind of you. Thank you.
I know that is, dude. I still can't get over anything I watch with Tucker. Anytime somebody says something like that, he just goes, like, dude, no. You gotta sit in front of a mirror and just work that out.
You can't laugh like a cartoon aristocrat, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
you can't keep doing that. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, the biggest thing that I saw with this interview going down, and we can go to a few comments and see what other people are thinking about this, but
I got one. when you're
Okay, yeah.
done.
The biggest thing that I saw with this was, again, the mainstream media, which, again, I don't even know if we can call them mainstream anymore because their numbers are so fucking low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not what mainly people are watching, but I would say like the, I don't know, corporate media now, legacy media.
I guess.
Well, however you want to put that, yeah. The talking heads of the political parties.
Yeah.
The way that they were framing this was like he was a fucking, a traitor. He was this Benedict Arnold character. He was going to go talk to the enemy. Meanwhile, he's saying like, hey, we're about to possibly be drugged into a worldwide conflict with possible nuclear ramifications. I think people should hear the thoughts of the guy that's being, you know what I mean, opposed here, or is opposing us or whatever. Even if it's some propaganda that he's putting out, good. Let's hear what he wants us to think. You know what I mean? Let's hear what he thinks. Let's hear anything. This idea that should have just been just a blank space where the enemy is for all of us, because at the top, they know this guy. They've known him for years. All of these politicians, they know who the fuck this is. So they have this inner thing. It's almost like, no. Well, the people can't know, though. We know him, yeah. If I fucking, went to his daughter's wedding or whatever it is. But it was like this weird reaction of, and all it looked like to me is like, we can't have the fucking serfs knowing what's going on up here. That's what it looked like. And once again, it just smacks of just global elitism, just complete deception, you know what I mean? And
yeah, I mean, it really is. And he seems to kind of make the point a bunch of times in this that like he's always been open to dialogue. Now, is that
Putin?
Yeah, is that a trick that these guys do sometimes? Yeah. Where it's like, well, what do you mean? I'm not the aggressor.
Yeah. Of
mean?
course. Nobody's going to be like, yes, I was the one at fault. And
However, if you go further in that Nord Stream clip, which we don't have to,
Yeah.
but I can tell you what happens. Tucker Carlson goes, well, if you have evidence, why don't you put it out, score propaganda points? And he's like, the thing is, propaganda is pretty difficult against the country that runs the entire world's media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a huge point, actually.
Our time is better spent, whatever.
Yeah, you're not going to win that game.
Yeah, and he
so
goes,
the resources are fucking
And a few times
moot.
he did say, like, I think intelligent thinking Americans will be able to figure out what's going on. So I don't know.
He was
Are we
really stroking our ego.
Dude, are we getting recruited? Because every time I give something a chance, I like start to believe it for a little while. It'll have to shake out for a week or two. But like I was a flat earther for like a week or two. But
I was a flat chester for a while.
Yeah, well, those days are gone. So at 1:06, 1 hour 6 minutes and 8 seconds.
Oh my fuck.
Here was another point. It's like, so they don't want you to hear from the guy.
1:06.8?
Yeah, 1 hour, 6 minutes, 8 seconds. They don't want you to hear from the guy. They don't want to have a dialogue with him themselves. The last guy that tried to, Trump, was basically accused of being a fucking traitor. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, since, and he suggested, I think at one time he even suggested, well, maybe we should have a dialogue with fucking North Korea.
Yeah, he did go. He started that.
Well, okay.
And everyone was like, wow, you're fucking talking to dictators. Like, yeah, dude, to try to make fucking sense with them.
It's hard to remember what was real or what he just said. This has all been so beautifully imprinted in my memory. So if we can get that one, this is a question about like, why not have a dialogue?
Yeah.
Right.
From the outside, it seems like this could devolve or evolve into something that brings the entire world into conflict and could initiate a nuclear launch. And so why don't you just call Biden and say, let's work this out?
What's there to work out? It's very simple. I repeat, we have contacts through various agencies. I will tell you what we are saying on this matter and what we are conveying to the US leadership. If you really want to stop fighting, you need to stop supplying weapons. It will be over within a few weeks. That's it. And then we can agree on some terms. Before you do that, stop. What's easier? Why would I call him? What should I talk to him about? Or beg him for what?
And what messages do you get back?
You're going to deliver such and such weapons to Ukraine? Oh, I'm afraid, please don't. What is there to talk about?
Do you think NATO is worried about this becoming a global war or a nuclear conflict?
At least that's what they're talking about. and they're trying to intimidate their own population with an imaginary Russian threat.
Okay.
This is an obvious
So
fact.
is that fair? I mean, why? All right. Why don't you call? Well, you mean the guy that's fighting in a war against me right now?
Yeah,
Because
and also,
don't forget, dude. Anybody that's paid attention, with the proxy wars with Russia, like I said, have been going on for our entire lifetime and longer. So
yeah.
So he's looking at it realistically. What, I'm going to call him up and go, well, he doesn't know I don't want him fucking supplying weapons to my enemies.
That's the whole thing. Dude, look, there are so many motivating factors, nefarious motivating factors that could be ascribed to what's going on in the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have most of the weapons manufacturers and the big fucking, arms companies here, which demand constant, escalation of revenue every year.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that does that is war.
Sure.
And so we're never in a
Which
fucking
is my
war.
suspicion of why Trump was so universally hated at first.
Yeah.
Too, is because he wasn't going to sell weapons.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm not getting in a war.
Right.
For your receipts. But yeah, so that's one. Clear and that this is the fact that we've all talked about this. The fact that the left somehow went to the pro fucking war within one term of a president is insane.
It's 1984 had it perfectly. We didn't see it as within our own society. We saw it as against other societies. But the idea that my enemy has always been my enemy, my friend has always been my friend. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
They fucking believe it wholeheartedly. They've
It's
always
insane.
they've always had the same. We've always been this way. We've always been together.
They just don't.
We weren't
they have no
exactly
idea.
the opposite. 25 years ago.
So
Sure.
bizarre, dude. But the fact that is, and the fact that the left used to be the one calling out these fucking, weapons manufacturers and just like, corporations of war and death. They would always call them out and say, why are we going in there? Why are we going in there? Why are we going into, you know what I mean? Well, we know why, because it's selling fucking billions of dollars worth of armaments that you can then continue manufacturing more.
But now it's like in two situations that nobody really, the average person walking around has an opinion and knows nothing at all about is let's stop fighting in Israel and more fighting in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Them, but not them.
Ceasefire immediately.
Yes.
Put the bombs there.
Right.
Kill those humans, not these ones. What the fuck are you talking
You're
about?
doing it all wrong.
Those are the wrong people. I've gone into Skeletor.
I know.
He-Man.
It started, It started as like a Mr. Show rich guy, and then it turned into Skeletor. You know what else I want to look at is 5908. All right, because here's another really interesting aspect of this, and we only have a few minutes to finish this up.
No minutes.
He was
59 what?
5908.
Holy fuck.
So he goes into something that I thought of as interesting that I hadn't heard of in a while. Is remember for a while people were kind of murmuring about, well, the establishment in Ukraine is a neo-Nazi.
Oh yeah.
Blah blah blah. Whatever.
Yes. Oh yeah. Totally.
I hadn't really heard of that in a while, and he goes into explaining it. And
Like
goes,
why that even happened? Like
well, yeah. So what
yeah.
I think what he was describing, and I don't know if this is like a trick that he thinks will work on Americans, because he goes, well, they were struggling. Ukrainians, when they had their independence, were struggling for a national identity.
Yeah, and then
we
Germany-
know
yeah.
that if you're white, you can't do that. I think, right? Is that usually? I mean, or Germans do it, I guess. But
I mean, yeah.
I think that's what he thinks.
Polish do it.
Will work on
Latvians
us.
do it. Yeah.
So it's apparently they want to have, a strong nationalistic identity, and he's tying that to neo-Nazism and saying that because of their like alignment with certain parties in Poland who had aligned with Hitler in
That
the
was the
30s.
thing, yes.
And he's going, so you can't trust him, but. There is this aspect, and it's 5908, and he tells a little story about President Zelensky visiting Canada that I thought was kind of
Oh yeah. Okay, let's take a look.
So we'll look at that. We'll see what you guys think.
Yeah.
And then the phone
These
lines
guys
will be
don't
open
think.
when they come back. I know. We'll do that for you.
And
Tiny bit.
denazification.
Замалчивается на Западе.
Look, The president of Ukraine visited Canada. The story is well known, but being silenced in the Western countries. The Canadian Parliament introduced a man who, as the Speaker of the Parliament said, fought against the Russians during the World War II.
Now, I'm going to stop it. I'll keep it going. But did you watch these clips when it happened? Back in like a few months ago?
No, I never did,
it was fucking... Oh, I can't believe we didn't watch it on here.
Okay.
It was feckless. No, I'm kidding. No, it was great. Dude, the walk back that these idiots that fucking Trudeau and his party had to do at that point, like in the following days, was fucking hilarious,
they're like,
dude.
Oh, you fucking cheers the Nazi or whatever?
Dude, the guy was like, the whole... You know how Parliament in Canada is like situated? It's like that whole, and then there's the fucking weird
memorized,
dude. Yeah, you know all the fucking seat positions. Yeah.
I used to be a janitor there.
You used to put the fucking prizes under certain random chairs.
What do you want? Prime Minister F7. But so yeah, they're all
so they're like talking about how he fought the Russians because you know you had Zelensky and so there's this old ass dude there, and they introduce him, and they're saying, "Oh, this man fought the Russians, in World War II, and blah blah blah, and he's a hero." And they all start clapping, and this old fucking man stands up, and the whole place stands up and are just fucking cheering for this Nazi.
Yeah, but who fought the Russians?
Yeah, they didn't think about like, oh wait, who was fighting the Russians? Oh wait, he was a Nazi. So like a couple days later, when the headlines started hitting, they're all like, well, we had no idea. We didn't. Somebody didn't research. It's like, dude. Yeah, you didn't research. Anyways, let's listen to the story as recounted by Vladimir Putin and his what would you call this voice that's translating? It's like
it sounds like AI.
It's a caramel voice. It's very smooth and buttery though.
Yeah,
but also Russian,
like molasses on the wagon.
Yeah.
The Canadian Parliament introduced a man who, as the Speaker of the Parliament said, fought against the Russians during the World War II. Well, who fought against the Russians during the World War II? Hitler and his accomplices. It turned out that this man served in the SS troops. He personally killed Russians, Poles, and Jews. The SS troops consisted of Ukrainian nationalists who did this dirty work. The president of Ukraine stood up with the entire Parliament of Canada
it was
and
fucking
applauded
hilarious, dude.
How can this be imagined?
That's a tremendous
The president
gaffe.
of Ukraine
it's the
himself,
best. I
by
can't
the
believe
way, is a Jew by nationality.
But also, okay.
Really, my question is, what do you do about it?
Is there something weird going on when no one throughout that entire process, and in Canada either, goes like, hold on, are we
saluting a Nazi?
Are we saluting a Nazi tonight? Is that the plan?
Is that what,
like, dude,
are we sure? Because I'll do it.
I mean, honestly, like a busboy should have been looking at like
the janitor should have been like, wait a minute, hold on.
Been like, you guys did no, hold on.
Hey.
Goes
Chancellor
running up the steps of Parliament, like
puts down his push broom.
Yeah.
Justin, come back.
Sir, there's been a major oversight.
Sir, you're going to applaud a Nazi tonight.
But there is something weird when that happens, right? That's got to be.
I think shit just it just moves too. There's not time to construct and spin a narrative in real time with so many plot lines. That's what I'm saying about like the Rogan fucking Alex. Let's call that the. Okay, what did we have for the axis of evil? Let's call this the 4 horsemen of humanity.
Yeah.
But that one would have never, like, you couldn't write that because it would be too hard to keep together. It would start fraying. Plot lines fray unless they make fucking sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just keep writing bullshit. So eventually it's just like, what the fuck?
We're in a simulation? No? Or yeah?
No, I think these people are just constructing narratives and they're trying to push this global agenda that we've always talked about, Vinny. And these are the global reptiles that have come from another dimension to enslave humanity and are seen as Lucifer by a lot of circles that think that they give them power.
But we must give it over willingly, according to the galactic treaty. That
they have to get us to invite them in like the vampires of old.
And then snap, they got you on a spiritual reservation out on Jupiter or something. Some cave.
Yeah, Jupiter Prime.
Yeah. So He talks a bunch about that denazification stuff. I mean, I listened to the whole thing. I thought,
I would encourage. I mean, I'm sure some of you listened to it. Let's go to some comments. Let's just.
And the other major interesting point of the thing was he does point out that in Ukraine, I think it was 2014.
Yeah.
They just and he thinks the CIA was involved.
Oh yeah. That was like when that really is what started the war.
They basically had just like an unprecedented like third round to their elections when there's normally two, because it was just sort of just declared by the.
Yeah, they were like, nah.
Yeah,
not this guy.
Not this guy.
He's working. He's going to work with Russians, and NATO doesn't want that.
Right.
We'll put in Zelensky.
We need our boogeyman. we need World War III eventually.
Yeah. We have to do that. We have to start a skirmish here. We have to start a skirmish with Israel and Hamas. And then, the two will meet.
Yeah. There has to
and so that's what we're in right now.
There does
guys.
have to be a major bad guy for a world war.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like.
Dude, and that's the thing is doing this, Tucker Carlson just sort of took that away from him because you don't see this. When you see Hitler up there, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's a fucking different thing. You see this guy like kick back, chill, making little jokes.
Right.
Poking Tucker with that kind of shit.
Tickling him.
Yeah, tickling him.
That's what
yeah, that was at the end of the interview, guys.
Right. He took his shirt off and sat on a donkey.
Yeah, Putin
Him
did the traditional Kremlin shuffle.
Right, yeah.
Where he goes up and and he gets him.
Yeah.
And he gets him. And Tucker Carlson is to remain absolutely motionless, staring at the statue of Vlad the Impaler.
It's like a game show. If he laughs, he gets beheaded. The whole world is cool. What were we saying before? Was there one last thing or no?
I don't know.
I think there
No,
was.
I mean everything. The 2014, they fucking rigged the election to put these people in. They started the war. They said they were going to try and they now needed Crimea back, which was never even a thing that was talked about. And they knew that if that was the case, it would mean war with Russia. They started poking the bear. They got the bear. You know what I'm saying? And the bear doesn't seem to want to be doing it that much.
Plus, don't forget when that plane got shot down and everything. There's been a lot of stuff.
A lot
that goes
of
back a long time.
dude.
Yeah,
this
right.
is not like it's funny when they were like, Russia invaded Ukraine unprompted, unprovoked. It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, back then
you've seen a fucking decade of history, you idiots.
That was a Russian civilian airliner, right? That got shot down. Yeah, and they claimed, we thought it was this or whatever, blah blah blah. There was all different stories to it, but yeah, there has been a lot of fucking shit that's gone on, And to use an old saying, I hate to side with Hitler, but but sometimes, you got to preemptively side with Hitler, And in this case, it
looks like Canada did it.
I don't know. Yeah, right. Just for their own safety. I understand it,
Yeah.
It's a siding with Hitler's a metaphor, guys, okay?
Yeah. For God's sake.
Now, Tom, run that shit back for me.
Well, from what I gathered, this was a interview that nobody in certain positions wanted to happen. It did happen. They then threatened sanctions against Tucker Carlson as an individual and as an American citizen to not be able to come back into the country.
That'd be so fun. He goes into a 7-Eleven. They're like, "I'm sorry, sir. We are aware of all current sanctions against you.
Yeah, we must ask you to leave or we'll call the police. Please don't make a scene."
His picture's up in every store in the entire country.
This is not a library.
Yeah,
just because he was going to read a magazine.
Like all he can buy is Percocet.
Yeah, just opioids. That's
right.
it.
Yeah. We'll just keep him fucking
Ozempic.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson for Ozempic. Now that's his entry back.
He's just living off vaccines. He's eating them.
No, he's got to fucking sign a deal.
Bit of sugar.
He's got to sign a deal where now he becomes the spokesperson of Ozempic because they know they'll capture another massive crowd that they don't have right now that are skeptical, and then he can start working his way back into the
do a commercial for Ozempic and you can marry Ice Spice. Wouldn't you like that, Tucker?
You get Delicious Red or whatever the fuck that bitch's name is. Juicy Red or Sexy Red or something. Nah.
I don't know.
They're all terrible
anymore. But
anyways, maybe Putin was doing his version of the Trump dance, possibly. Could have been. Let's see your Trump dance. Okay. Putin Putin doesn't want the Federal Reserve and won't allow Russia to be part of it. That's one reason for the U.S., the real ones that run it anyway, hates Russia. That is a huge thing.
That's the comment that I wanted to read. I'll say it a little better than you.
What the?
Putin doesn't want the Federal Reserve and won't allow Russia to be a part of it. That's one reason the U.S., the real ones that run it anyway, hates Russia. I did mean to get back to that because that's always been my traditional view of Putin and someone like Gaddafi or these guys that you wonder. It's like when you dig into them a little bit, it doesn't seem like their citizens hate them. It doesn't seem like a North Korea. It doesn't seem even like an Egypt or like a wherever, Saudi Arabia.
No, actually, Iraq was somewhat that way. Saddam Hussein was like not reviled by his people. There were certain factions where there were political opponents.
Yeah.
And shit that they didn't like him. But for the most part, there's a lot of these people. Yeah, Gaddafi's one that was universally loved by the Libyans, really.
That they have their own thriving economy. They don't want to rely on a World Bank. And they also, like, look at Russia with all the fucking sanctions that are going on.
I know, it's so weird.
They're still the 5th largest economy in the world.
They just floated on. They don't give a fuck.
And I know that they're a giant country, and I don't know if that's directly by volume, but I think they said it's China, U.S., strangely India.
Yeah, India.
Then Japan, then Russia. But I mean, with everything that's gone on and their inability to export oil and all this stuff,
they're fine.
And they're still. So I mean, that's the enemy they usually. And you know, I hate to side with Hitler, but you go back to the 30s, and I mean, I think the biggest way that he was a threat to the international banking community was he was suggesting that they invest more in themselves and that they stop with, you know, the international banking. You know, so
yeah, I mean, everyone's seen the list that was put out. It was leaked years and years ago. This is pre-Bush, I think, possibly during Clinton. It was some CIA memo listing a list of like 5, and this was before anyone was really talking about this. There were certain people that were, but you remember it was Libya, it was Syria, it was Russia, it was Iraq, it was Afghanistan. You know what I mean? There were there was like 8 countries that had not allowed a central bank, a raw,
that's all the ones we're fucking interested in, huh?
Yeah, the Rothschild fucking banking dynasty stopped with them, and they were like, no, we need access to you. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we were in Iraq, we were in Afghanistan, we toppled fucking Gaddafi, we murdered him in the fucking public square. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we fucking took
officially we had nothing to do with.
Yeah, but and then Syria, you know, Bashar al-Assad was like, oh, he's killing his own people, and then everyone was like, and he was like, no, you did that. What are you talking about? You poisoned them, you fucks.
I like they tried to pretend to give a shit about Uganda with Joseph Kony. Remember how fast that went away?
Everyone's like, no.
Everyone's like, no, we know this routine. Yeah. They're like, dude, this Joseph Kony guy, he's totally mean to kids, and he's like building a child army. And then they're like, who made this? The State Department?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
Yeah, we're fine here. Oh, wait a second. They just discovered giant fucking zinc deposits under Uganda and oil and stuff.
It's always the same thing. But that central banking point, though, that is a big one, though.
Yeah.
And now Sevilla also says people were saying Tucker wouldn't be allowed into the U.S. and someone else said, tell him to go through Mexico. He could walk right in.
Yeah, he does it. They won't let him back in. He's like,
just got a sombrero on.
He puts on Google fucking glasses and goes, all right, now let's see, guys. He gets fucking raped by a coyote.
Immediately?
Yes, immediately. And repeatedly.
Yeah. And that's what he sounds like when he's...
He does. He's like a fop. He's a fop laugh, right?
He's a fox in heat.
Yeah.
That's what they sound like, I think. Anyways, all right, we're going to take a quick break, folks. What do we got coming up after the break, Vin?
We're gonna bag on old Neil deGrasse. We always like to take a look at him.
NDT, my fucking favorite.
I think we got some Rappaport coming up. He's trying to walk back some of his venomous fucking sentiments of the past 8 to 10 years.
His unaccounted for vitriol that he spewed out into the public.
And then what else? We got something else. We got a few other things. When we get back, you'll find out what they are right along with us, because that's kind of the way it works. do a bunch of planning and then go, yeah, we'll
And
get
then
to maybe
forget
half of this.
all
and,
of it,
and
yeah.
For no reason sometimes because we just start talking about a dog strip club or something, you know?
Yeah,
It's
we
just
haven't
like,
we haven't touched
wait
on
a
that in
second.
a while. We should probably revisit that second hour.
Yeah, we prepared a whole thing about Iran Contra. We researched for 4 days, and then we just talked about.
Oh, we're 2 hours in. We haven't gotten off banging horses yet.
Yeah, and we had to talk about how dogs can't twerk for 40 minutes. Get that out of the way, but they can't, and I do like talking about it. So, all right,
we will be right back. Here's
for
a
the
little
break. What are we playing for him? This is
here's
a
classic radio
from the early days. Look how stupid it looks now.
I still love it.
Yeah, I mean
It's rustic.
It's quaint. It's down home.
It looks like we're in some sort of low budget alien.
But at the same time,
base.
yeah, it looks dangerous. Like we we kind of look like we're doing a talk show from that place where they hung out in the Foot Clan.
Yeah,
the original
the
Ninja
fucking,
Turtles.
yeah, the
like
sewer system.
Like if I asked you for a cigarette, you'd have 2 cartons and you'd be like, menthol or not?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, damn, dude. And a kid would go buy a skateboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know. Okay, so what clip is this?
This is the Postmates bottom friendly menu.
This is when we looked at Postmates sponsoring, a menu for what you can eat if you're preparing to be fucked in your anus for a few days.
Yeah.
So check it out,
So
guys.
let's take a look at that. You brought this to my attention.
Oh, okay. This was sent in by a faithful listener, General Silk out there in Westmont, I believe. Sent us in this video, and this was made by Postmates, I think, or something like that. Which again, it's amazing where we've gotten.
Is that who sent this?
I think it says in here somebody, like they paid for it or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
But so this is an ad called "Eat with Pride," and I guess we'll just discover together.
Yeah.
What the real meat of this is. So this is the Eat with Pride ad. Here we go.
What are you eating this Pride? Well, if you're a top, it seems like you can eat whatever you want. But if you're a bottom, you're expected to starve? Not this Pride. Introducing the bottom-friendly menu from Postmates. We teamed up with Dr. Evan Goldstein from Bespoke Surgical to bring you a menu of bottom-friendly foods backed by science.
Okay, hold on here. So
now what do we?
The elephant in the room is so you don't shit on somebody's dick.
Yeah, this is
Right?
what they're saying is that if you're
I really just to give it some context.
So yeah, this is basically now I like how they use the peach as the ass.
Yeah, it's very on the nose. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what they're saying is if you're anticipating being penetrated anally, there are certain foods you can eat.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat ice only.
Right. You don't have to slowly watch a bowl of ice evaporate and then cry, which is what they did.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I mean, okay, so this is their advice, I guess.
Yeah.
But
So this was from some surgeon.
this was a world class super scientist surgeon.
Oh my God!
Right? What did they
Thank
say?
God.
Wait,
Yeah,
back it
yeah.
up
I'm gonna
for a
bring it
second.
back
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit. Hold on a second here. Okay, let's see here.
So this is how to not defecate on a
We teamed up with
penis.
Dr. Evan Goldstein from Bespoke Surgical to bring you a
Evan Goldstein from Bespoke Surgical.
Yeah, we know that.
Of course, we know who that is. And I like this apple has glasses. I love that.
menu of bottom-friendly foods backed by science. Insoluble fiber won't help you feel cute, so avoid things like whole grains, wheat bran, cauliflower, potatoes, legumes. Hold up, are you just fully diving into those beans? The problem with these foods is they
What?
don't dissolve in water, which could cause a traffic jam in your digestive system, making a
And then you might shit on a dick. Why don't you just come out and say it? Going up with all these creative ways to talk around it and shit, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so apparently cashews are okay. Some sort of parfait.
Huh. I mean, it looks like you could, yeah.
Don't eat the milkshake, the hot dog, the bran muffin, the nuggets.
This actually just kind of
fries,
seems like good advice anyways.
Yeah, this seems
yeah.
like just solid dietary.
Right. See, this is what it takes for for you to see
Americans.
mainstream support of a good diet.
It's
gotta be gay.
Because
you know?
because before this we were seeing that that sugary cereal was better than a chicken breast or carrots.
Right.
On
And unless
unless you're expecting a dalliance.
Right, yeah.
On the bottom.
It is funny because
It really
I didn't
is.
think of
This
that
is-
till just now, but how often do you see any major corporation or anyone recommending like vegetables and fruit and nuts.
Yeah,
You know,
not
like,
a lot.
Yeah.
We have peas, apples, salad.
Don't eat this, like, yeah, what a weird thing. Even if you're a top, don't eat all that stuff for the most part. Like,
yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Why do you
let's
act
keep it-
like the tops don't have like cardiological concerns and shit
Yeah.
like that? You know?
Yeah. This is still a healthy diet.
Right.
Just because you're not being penetrated.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's see what else they have to
see
say.
what else they have to say.
They don't dissolve in water, which could cause a traffic jam in your digestive system, making a mess of your evening. Speaking of messy, it's a good idea to avoid dairy.
I cannot handle lactose right now. Look at her.
If you're going to eat something insoluble, give your body about 24 hours to process all of it.
This is
okay.
Soluble fibers and protein are the key to having some good, clean fun. These all digest easily and slowly while feeding your good gut bacteria, which makes sushi a great bottom-friendly option.
Okay,
I gotta-
again,
why- how is any
this
of
is just good advice.
Yeah, exactly.
This should just be eat this in general.
Right. Yeah, this is all like what they're talking about is like digestive health.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
feeding
Like-
your gut bacteria.
Right,
yeah.
In fact, you know, the average person out there has a lot of impacted fecal matter. We've talked about this
Yeah.
before.
Why wouldn't
you know? Yeah, like this is something that affects people's health all the time.
We're
Like,
both bottoms.
Right. Yeah. This is shit we've been doing for years, you know. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Like that's like a massive fucking nationwide issue, anyways. Is people
Yeah.
like that are just like impacted with like
rotten fecal
all
matter
kinds of
inside
fucking
of
toxins and shit like that. Like,
yeah,
what do you
this
think
is
the average
colon
person
health is not what it should be in this.
Oh Jesus,
in
it's
this
out of
country.
control, man.
It's out of control.
And in our community, you deal with it all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, specifically bottoms.
Right. Yeah. This is revolutionary info.
Yeah.
Let's keep going with this.
There's no right or wrong way to bottom. But if you're planning on getting peachy this Pride, the bottom-friendly menu on Postmates has the kinds
What does
of
that mean,
foods
a
that
right or
keep you
wrong way?
feeling good.
I know. I think there is.
The Okra Project. What was that?
I am gonna go back. PSYOP.
Is that an argument that people have? Is there a right or wrong way? Like
A donation was made to the Okra Project, a black woman-led collective that addresses food insecurity, mental health, and financial barriers faced by the trans community.
Hold on.
Huh?
A black woman led. This thing is packed.
Yeah.
A black woman led collective that addresses food insecurity, mental health, and financial barriers forced by the trans. Well, you know what we have
Faced.
to do now. Can you go to the Okra Project website?
You know I can.
Yeah.
You know I can.
This is the direction we're going tonight for some
Yeah,
reason.
all right, let's,
Because that thing seems pretty awesome. Okay.
Okra.
Where did we see that before? Food insecurity. We did something about this.
That
Remember?
was,
It
that was the thing that was saying there's no such thing as a good or bad food, and just eat what you like and don't worry about what it does to your body because that's some sort of white supremacist narrative. Remember this? This was the LA schools was playing this donuts are not bad for you commercial.
Right.
And that was it. And then they were saying that like it's some sort of white supremacist
Did they say
narrative. Oh yeah.
Wow.
There was it was
I
all-
remember one that we were talking about that was like somebody was trying to raise awareness for food insecurity in college cafeterias and like
Oh yeah.
What?
Well yeah, that they could
they wanted to like not have to have people see them while they got their food or something.
it
was
would
just like,
cause too
what
much.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just found out about this, the Okra Project.
The Okra
Let's-
Project. Let me just see here. Let's go
take a
full
look.
screen instead of that one. All right. The Okra Project. Let me get rid of us since nobody likes seeing us. Anyways,
No, that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna
the Okra Project. All of the things.
look. The whole website is just donate today. That's it.
That's
Is that
it?
the only option? What? Get the fuck out of here. There's no other what?
Okay, wait.
all
The
right.
homepage. Let me see what this is. The Okra Project. That is the homepage.
That's
Just
the homepage.
Donate today.
Okay.
All right. What else do we have? What is the Okra Project? Here we go. This should
Nice.
be enlightening.
The Okra Project is a mutual aid collective that provides support to black, trans, binary, and gender non-conforming people with the intention of alleviating some of the barriers that the community faces daily. During the Middle Passage, our African ancestors snuck okra onto captive ships to sustain themselves and plant in the New World. black diaspora. I always forget how you say this word. Diasporic or
Yeah.
Cooking traditions often use the okra plant for its versatility, and it is often associated with health, prosperity, and community. Now, okra's fine. I've got no problem with okra. It is a very kind of enriching plant. It can be like
it's very
kind of a shit texture kind of.
I was gonna say, and also I don't know if that's bottom friendly, to be honest.
Okra? Well,
yeah, it's very. It's it's got a high content of mucilage. It's one of those high mucilage like aloe vera.
And I think okra is one of those foods that can
it's like a laxative.
That can come out completely undigested. I feel like, So yeah, you don't want to be spitting okra out onto your.
I mean, I don't know what anybody's into these days, and so I'm not going to judge that.
It's interesting that they're at the center of this entire movement.
It is in and of the same spirit that the Okra Project has positioned itself to continuously extend and create assistance through our programming and partnerships. While we are always blossoming,
what do you do?
Much like the beloved okra plant, our team is committed to finding unconventional solutions to radically support the Black, trans, and GNC community.
Tell me one thing that you do, please.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, why okra? I don't care why okra. What do you do?
What the fuck is this thing?
Okay, programs.
Okay.
Damn it.
The Okra Project is providing our community members with 3 months' work of BetterHelp services.
Okay, so it's a therapy, BetterHelp. That's
okay.
A therapy thing.
Right.
Okay, all right.
That's
okay.
Good.
That's it. Well, quit. Whoa. What was that?
Tom?
What happened?
I've got a bit of a confession.
Oh, what's that?
During the break, I felt a bit impish. And while you were distracted looking at your computer, I stole into your dining room, reached into your bag of Russell Stover's Fruit Chew gummies made with stevia extract, and I extracted 2 of them, put them into my mouth, chewed them up, and swallowed them.
I don't like this character.
And you know what?
Scared me. He or she or...
It was devilishly delicious.
Now, what flavor did you get? Because there's a few flavors in there. There's cherry, there is orange, there is deviled egg, and there's pastrami.
I play no favorites with my Russell Stover's Fruit Chew gummies made with stevia extract. Each one is special in its own way. They each send me careening into a delightful, flavorful journey down a highway of mouth-watering, citrusy satisfaction.
Landed it.
And I just wanted you to know that...
I saw you.
Those things were like eating plastic.
Yeah. Like I said, they're awful.
Yeah.
But they're sweet and chewy.
It seems kind of like sugar.
Yeah.
So, okay.
There's, look, in a pinch, I'll eat. The problem with that, like I was going to say earlier, is it's a lot of maltitol and a lot of fruit sugars, and they don't digest the way anything else does. And so that's where you get like that old Haribo fucking sugar-free gummy bear reviews that anyone ever watch or see those on Amazon. It's every one of them's like, well, if you don't have anything to do and you can shit your pants for 4 days, have a bag of these. And all that, like every one of them is just like,
oh, it does that?
Oh yeah. So yeah, it does. Especially if you're not used to them. Get ready.
I might be interested in getting a couple bags of those then. Because you know how I like to be clean. I like to be all the way clean. Cleaned all the way out.
Cleaned out.
Just like the bottom-friendly menu that we were just looking at during the break.
Yeah,
I mean, look, that's a good way just to be. Like, we don't want to have a bunch of shit rotting around in you, even if you're not trying to get bottom ready for whatever that festival was they were going to.
Yeah.
But you can just, can shit your brains out every now and then just to be
why not,
just to know that you're ready, just in case.
Okay.
And also carry a condom. But all right, so let's talk real world stuff, guys. Here we go.
So I saw this and I
wait before we go into the actual stuff, I got a thought. Has anyone else noticed this? Because my entire fucking life, there's an election. And then the new guy is there, and then everybody's mad. And then about 2.5 years later, starts the new election. And by the time I was in my early 20s, I go, what a fucking irritating rhythm.
Yeah, it's constant.
Just like, dude, it's almost, we get precious little time off from it. And then
just inundated.
A year and a half before the actual election, you're back engulfed, inundated, sure. Overrun, overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Buried in.
Yeah.
Some other metaphors of that. In election coverage, and it's all anyone fucking talks about.
Yeah.
The guys are kind of narrowed down to a few at this point. Blah, blah, blah. We're 7 months out or whatever. And
nothing.
I am not seeing any real fucking.
No, we saw a couple Republican debates without the actual candidate that's going to fucking be the nominee.
Right, but at this
point, which was nothing, and then Biden hasn't even been. Dude, all right, well, let's just talk about that real quick.
Yeah,
Biden can't even talk now.
Right,
like he cannot fucking talk. His latest like gaffes and shit, just this last week. He like said that he had just gone on a thing with this fucking long dead world leader. He was he mistook fucking Spain for fucking Egypt for Mexico. He like it's just he's been talking about like going on a fucking thing with multiple dead leaders that have been dead for 20 years. But saying that he just did this, in this term. He said he can't remember being vice president.
Right.
Hey, dude, what the fuck are we doing?
Or he didn't remember what years he was vice president or something.
That's our president.
There was one, I saw a clip from a few weeks ago where they go, Donald Trump said he would love to debate you or something. Do you have any response? And he goes, I love to debate me too if I were him. Yeah, no shit, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But in his mind, it was like...
Yeah.
Boom shakalaka!
And
Man,
so
timing,
right? Yeah. Ooh.
Ghost finger Vinny.
I know, dude. That was like vampire proof. Like I can't fucking activate a touch screen. But no, it really is, dude. It's like the sci-fi or fantasy. It's a classic archetype. The ruler whose mind is gone, and he may even be controlled or drugged, and it's a Rasputin.
It's Lord of the Rings
situation. That right?
Yeah,
there's all kinds of
worm tongue, fucking controlling him from.
And we're seeing it.
Behest of Sauron.
Because people can go. They could. Several years back, they could go, no, he has a stutter. That's why he says shit that makes no sense. Not that he's stuttering.
That he's
at all
misspeaking everything.
That he's telling lies about cornball and leg hair.
Yeah.
But like...
And sniffing kids left and fucking right.
And he won't...
What are we doing?
He won't stop looking out in the audience and going, there's a fucking sexy little
good-looking kid right there.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Around. Let me see your ass.
Yeah, right. Seriously. Take
man.
your clothes off. Spin around.
Hey, corn pop.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they go, and at this point, I don't even know anyone who has a reasonable argument about how he has any fucking legitimate place.
No, I still hear Bill Maher say shit like... I've heard this argument, and it's funny because Bill Maher is one of the sort of lefties that came with us lefties into the center. He stayed back a little bit from where I ended up, but it's fine. But his argument is like, no, that's bullshit. He's like, look, there's can I eloquently read prompters, and can I deliver speeches well? Maybe not. But the decisions is what counts. What happens in the office is what counts. And and I'm like, he can't talk, fuckface. He's not making decisions.
Right.
He can't decide whether or not to shit his pants right now.
I should hope not.
Yeah.
Because,
not if he's eating those fucking Maltol candies.
That's the thing, yeah. At his age, too.
Yeah.
You want to stay regular.
Oh, my God. He's the most irregular.
Dude, at his age, I mean, I'll just be hoping. I would definitely trade control for regularity. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be a huge...
I think we all know what you mean.
It's going to be a huge problem in my life going forward. Judging how my digestion issues have been in my 30s, by the time I think about this, like, dude, when I'm 80,
I know.
I'm just going to have a fucking pump coming out of the side of me or something.
Technology will go. You'll have a fucking nice Sony bag.
Maybe I have like wireless.
Yeah,
like,
wireless colostomy.
Wireless colostomy. Just and you know what? And then you can dial it in. Send this to Parliament.
Yeah. You know who's probably going to be in on the making of that new Sony tech, though?
Who?
One of the most brilliant minds of our time.
Elon Musk?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, yeah? Well,
Yeah.
he'll certainly tell us why it means that aliens don't exist.
Yeah, and he'll also somehow roundaboutly take credit for something.
Yeah.
Like he inspired everyone and taught them how to think.
Yeah,
that's his big thing.
I've been a part of the general awakening, the scientific interest in society. I went on the Daily Show and everybody thought I was cool. The same as they tricked us into thinking that one guy was fucking cool that does loops all the time. What the hell was that guy's name? And he did like a TED Talk, and he was a musician.
Yeah, the dude that just does loops in his bedroom in a robe.
No.
I was like,
black
did a
guy,
TED Talk?
bigger black guy.
Oh,
Who am I thinking of?
Fuck, what's his name? He's a comedian.
I don't know. But any black guy with the right hair who's a little funky and goes on the Daily Show, that was just like your ticket to stardom at one time.
Yeah. What the fuck is his name? Come on, somebody say it in the.
I'll figure
he was
it out.
on,
but he's not even good. He's
pretty good. You know, he's look.
Not in
those kind of tricks wear thin pretty quickly.
Yeah,
any of that shit.
Anyways,
you're not prolific. You're just, you know what I mean. It's kind of cool. It's
the
like,
thing is,
it's like improv versus comedy. Like stand up is like what he does versus music. You know what I mean?
We can't even think of his name. So
yeah, what the fuck's his name?
Figure it out later.
I like the dude though.
What?
What is it?
Michael R. Jackson?
No. What the fuck was that? And I said what?
Off camera, Paul. Everyone.
Paul, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hey guys.
Yeah.
All right. No, that was fine.
It's me.
It's me. Off camera, Paul.
Hey. He just wanted to do applause.
You already introduced me.
I know, but you still have to say it every time. Off camera Paul's here, but with a ridiculous suggestion, and that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but whatever. Reggie Watts.
That's who I'm talking about. Anyways,
but
people like that, right? At one time,
yeah, just a certain zeitgeist.
They sold you to the whites in a different way than you were previous.
I don't think that was anywhere near what happened.
I mean, in an
that.
advertising sense,
No.
they sold them to the whites, and it was like, with the whites, you got to know this black scientist, and that's the only dude. Trust me.
I see
There's
what you're
no
saying.
fucking white scientist that acts like that's getting famous. They'd be like, I don't trust him. He does fucking drugs.
Also, I hate Neil deGrasse Tyson, not based on anything more than his just obvious arrogance and fucking self-opinion. But have you ever seen the commercial for his master class? It's like it'll run between YouTube ads. Have you ever come across your feed? Okay, so he sits in his fucking armchair, you know what I mean, and it's like all whatever. It's all Neil deGrasse Tyson-y. And he goes something. Oh, what's the fucking thing? He goes something about like knowing enough about a subject to think you're right, but not enough to know you're wrong.
Dude, he's like,
and then like looks at the camera for a beat, and then like gets this smug like, yeah, oh yeah, and it's just like. You probably didn't even make that up. I'm not going to even look because I don't care, but it's not that clever.
That's a souvenir shop kitchen magnet.
Exactly.
You
That's
know
an
what I mean?
apron
Like,
for some fucking intellectual douchebag that you know.
Yeah, that's a candle. It's a bunch of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like he's always talking.
He thinks he's so fucking brilliant.
He's always talking in like soccer mom sloganeering kind of things, you know?
It's
Where
just
like
so everything about him, but that in particular, that sort of. But okay, so he was just involved in some shit. Check this out.
Yeah, I like this. I like that he's just doing this for no reason.
What a fucking prick. So it's a new big bang as Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson goes to war with Madison Square Garden over all-white board.
This is an important thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, one would think that he has a bone to pick with them because he became aware that their entire board is made up of white people.
Yeah. Well, you got to fucking crack down on that shit.
You do.
know
And
what
let's
I mean?
let Ollie Coleman tell us about it.
What the hell have whites ever done for society,
Nothing.
right?
Nothing.
Come on.
No enlightenment. But check this out. This is what really happened. Talk about a big bang. Page 6 here is that there was an Ursa major blow up between Madison Square Garden staffers and, of all people, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson over Rangers tickets this past weekend.
Okay. Several things that we need to address immediately.
Yeah,
Ursa major blow up.
Stop with that.
What's the name of this person?
This is Ollie Coleman.
Okay, sorry, you already said it. Ollie Coleman. All right, so Ollie Coleman is apparently another one in an army of fucking brainless, talentless writers that have been unleashed on our society to try
Who
to
else
do
is gonna do this
to try
job?
to do cutesy. I know they're probably not making any money, but like to try to do cutesy little things constantly to make yourself stand out. You know what would make you stand out at this point?
Good writing.
If you just fucking wrote like a normal person, you know what I mean? Every article,
Yeah.
Ursa Major blow up. That is funny. Put words together. Ha ha ha.
Oh my God.
But like, you know what I mean? Who thinks you know that that's not funny?
All right, that's
It's
not the
just-
meat of this.
and
But
then,
yes,
okay,
I agree.
Then the other thing, he's gonna bitch about white people, and he wants to go to a hockey game.
Yeah, what's the whitest sport you could possibly attend?
This is dude,
Badminton.
Yeah.
Next, hockey.
Basketball, baseball, even whatever. Fine. Then
Basketball? That's a white sport.
yeah.
Talking about.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I haven't checked my ticker in a while.
Yeah.
Let me see.
What is this, 1920?
If my stock in slow bounce passes has gone down. Oh no!
Oh God, they're doing chest passes? Oh, no. All right, let me finish this up. Apparently, the famed arena offered him stubs to Monday's game, then swiftly redrew the offer after, in a strange twist, he claimed its board was all white. That doesn't make sense. Now watch. The bizarre back and forth began, we're told, when the astrophysicist asked for a handful of tickets to see the Rangers play the Colorado Avalanche. We're told that the Garden readily agreed to give him some seats, but couldn't provide as many as he'd asked for. Then things began to spin off their axis. Apparently, DeGrasse Tyson mentioned to the bafflement of the Garden staff that it's Black History Month, adding that he'd noticed that there were no non-white members of its board. It seems that the stunned and dismayed insiders, one of whom, we're told, somewhat oxymoronically referred to him as that idiot astrophysicist, swiftly voided the tickets they'd already given him.
Is this a fake article?
Oh, dude.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Celebrity as yeah.
So the guy, he really called him that idiot astrophysicist because that's exactly how I feel about him.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Now, okay, so that's the bulk of the article.
Also turned this thing on its axis. It was
I
at
know.
the best.
Yeah, it
fucking
sounds like it'll be
planetary-
many moons before the good doctor can go to a Rangers game without getting an icy reception.
Did it say that?
Yeah.
I thought you were just making that up. As like an
Perhaps he
improv,
should
like-
try the LA Galaxy instead. He just goes on. I didn't want to do
Oh
it, but
my God.
Yeah. Now listen.
Yeah,
Neil
maybe-
deGrasse Tyson.
Maybe you should try slamming your head into the earth until you're dead. Is that a good fucking Planet reference?
I think so.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Let's look up Neil deGrasse Tyson's fucking net worth real quick, okay?
Why?
Because he's begging for tickets and then can't get enough tickets and then fucking starts threatening, like calling out accusations of racism. What
Yeah.
the fuck are you doing, dude?
He must be a drunk or something, right?
There's no way he's worth $5 million, you idiots.
You think it's more?
Way fucking more.
Yeah, he's
way
probably-
more. His salary at the fucking planetarium over there, I want to say, is like fucking $500,000 or like, yeah, here, hold on a second.
He's probably got vaults full of rare coral in the Cayman Islands. Something going
He's
on.
probably got vaults full of rare colon in the fucking Cayman Islands.
Yeah.
$450K a year, $10 million with Netflix to create a series of documentary. He's not worth $5 million exactly. This motherfucker's had, yeah, he did fucking Nova. He did Netflix things for $10 million. He makes $500,000 a year. He's 1,000 years old because he gets adrenochrome. Look, the guy's wealthy.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
if he was only worth $5 million, don't beg for tickets. Just buy tickets. That's the worst thing that I think a celebrity can do is expect free shit when you're already fucking lauded over by the public to begin with, dude. Be
Yeah.
appreciative and just be a normal fucking person. But of course, Neil deGrasse Tyson's dumbass.
We've showed in the past how fucking barely controlling, like he's barely controlling his anger anytime anyone ever questions him.
Yeah.
And he's got fucking amazingly narcissistic and
It's
egomaniacal
unbelievable.
tendencies that he can literally, he's like, he'll be in a conversation on a podcast or whatever and just be like, okay, well, hold on.
But no, you're not listening. Yeah, he's like hitting shit.
He acts like a fucking little kid or
He
like
immediately
a
too.
drunk or something.
It's
but
not
yeah.
like anything even
Oh.
happens. It's like that. This is when conversations aren't even like being you know what I'm saying? They're not like being combative at all. And then
Right.
it's just the slightest tinge of pushback that he gets. Oh my God, the way he reacts like a baby is hilarious. But this, I mean, we already hated him. I already have a deep hatred for Neil deGrasse Tyson, but this kind of shit.
It's funny, man. I think back to many years ago when everybody loved him, and I
did too. I thought he was fucking cool as shit.
I never did. I always kind of was like, there's something smarmy about this fucking guy.
I did my hair like him.
Yeah, everybody was dressing like him for a while, walking around talking about it.
Brown suit with like patches on the elbows and a fucking tight fro.
Just hang everybody at the same coffee shop with a MacBook. Remember that?
A few charts loosely falling out of a notebook so people think I'm doing astronomy.
Bunch of random equations.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I dropped my papers.
It was the style at the time.
Yeah. Well, it was a something at the time.
Hey, cool equations. Thanks.
Ooh, what are you working on?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
don't know.
He always had just the air of pomposity. Is that something?
Yeah, he's pompous as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I heard they're just waiting until May to remove Biden because he's not fit to hold office, and then they'll issue someone else in. Yeah, I heard this too. Supposedly they're saying Kamala Harris is going to be the one that they're going to put up. Like anyone believes this. Like she's not going to immediately have to be like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk to my family. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way you'd win. You're the most unpopular politician ever.
She's worse than Taylor Swift.
She's worse. Yeah, she is.
They should see. I'm not for nothing, but before I found out what was going on with Taylor Swift, I thought that it was something like the losing team had to have sex with her. Like all of them or something like that. Then I find out she's actually part of the whole thing.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's a roller coaster. But but no, this that idea is terrifying because
which one?
Kamala Harris.
Dude, that's Well, that's.
I mean, she's
going to turn it down. They're going to put Gavin Newsom, which is idiotic also because nobody
likes anyone.
Well,
That's
first
the thing.
Gavin Newsom.
People don't even actually like Donald Trump. That's the thing that no one understands, I think.
They like,
It's just the reaction, the circus, the fact that you hate him so much.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They like that you don't like him.
Right. There are people that do like him, but it's not really, that's not the sum of the whole thing. Yeah,
meat
it's not
of the
really,
meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I might.
What?
I've never voted before.
You're going to vote for Kamala?
I might vote for Donald Trump just because.
Dude, I'm thinking the same thing. Here's all right, hot take, folks, or no, insider baseball. Dude, I voted one time in a presidential election.
Dukakis.
It was Dukakis in 86. Right. No, it was John Kerry versus Bush. It was after the term where he took it from Gore post Clinton, right? So if you remember,
I remember they were both graduates of the same Yale class and members of the Skull and Bones.
Yeah, this is also true. But also the term before, or the election before, there was the hanging Chad, the Jeb Bush fix in the fucking Florida election.
Classic simulation.
So then we all had heard about that for 4 years. So when it came down to the next election, there was a bunch of us who were like, dude, we have to. You know what I mean? It was like they made it so that you were like, they're going to fucking try it again. Yeah. And we can't let Bush in a second term because at that point I was like so dead set against the Republicans. So anyways, I went out and voted. This would be the next time I vote, and it would be for Donald Trump. And I don't give a fuck who knows. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm saying I don't care. Yeah, like I so thoroughly enjoyed the last time around.
Oh, dude, just give me it again, dude.
Give
me it again. Dude, and this time, if they just indicted him with all this shit and fucking have been harping on him and kicking him off platforms, the last 4 years, dude, he's gotten a lot of new bones to pick. He would be in there like fucking, you know what I mean? Fucking
dude, he's gonna come
Scarface
in.
He's
gonna come in like Jesus flipping the Jews' fucking picnic tables or whatever he did.
Yeah.
You remember that?
My matzo balls.
Yeah, right. They were trying to fucking convert matzo balls into
money or something.
Yeah, or like into
shekels into fucking
gefelta. Whatever it was. Yeah. They're fucking weaving yarmulkes. Jesus comes in like, no.
Not today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trump's
Not today, Jaime.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
he didn't give a fuck, dude. I know. Wait, are you saying Donald Trump's going to be the next?
He's going to walk in the White House and do that. That's exactly what he's
I
gonna
would
do.
tip a table if I got back in. I would tip so many tables. I'm going to probably tip a table at my own house tonight for no reason.
It would be cool if in his position, how would you not just walk in and just trash the fucking place?
Oh, I'd have a fucking rager, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Dude, we're back! Oh my God. That'd be like like getting an apartment, like somebody gets you evicted, but the eviction doesn't go all the way through, and you have like these shitty neighbors that tried to fuck you over, and then but it all goes through and you win, and then you go back to the apartment. Oh, dude, I'd be the worst.
There was a time.
Wait. Let's hear from off-camera Paul real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think he should gather up all his buddies and go to the Capitol.
Did they try that?
Oh, they might have.
Yeah.
That one, dude, that's so passe at this point.
Hey, did we ever talk about this? Did you know one of the Mr. Show cast members was there?
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Did we talk about it?
Several times, actually, but we actually went through and like looked at articles. That was early on.
Okay,
Early,
yeah.
yes.
That's just really funny to me, like how weird life
Yeah, what's
gets.
his name? Jay
Johnston.
Yeah, Jay Johnston, yeah.
People ended up seeing...
Not my favorite cast member on that show.
I mean, but they all played their part.
Yeah, but he was a bit ghoulish. He looked, very Herman Munstery.
But so they like it was Mr. Show fans who were all like real lefties. Somebody, this is the hilarious thing about the internet, is looking at these giant, pictures of giant crowds and stuff, and they're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Hey. Search through everything and find pictures of him there and stuff, and now he's like blacklisted and blah, blah, blah.
Well, we should start calling that whitelisted. Oh.
That seems to be how it's turning out.
Boom shakalaka!
Oh, sorry.
Wait, so I was thinking, okay, it was Andrew. It was Andrew Jackson. Back in the days when they tried to keep the federal government somehow accessible and open to people.
Yeah.
After Jackson's swearing-in ceremony and address to Congress, the new president returned to the White House to meet and greet a flock of politicians, celebrities, and citizens. Very shortly, the crowd swelled to more than 20,000, turning the usually dignified White House into a boisterous mob scene.
Yeah.
Some guests stood on furniture in muddy shoes, while others rummaged through rooms looking for the president breaking dishes. I don't know what that means. Crystal and grinding food into the carpet along the way. White House staff reported the carpet smelled of cheese for months after the party. Hold on, wait. In an attempt to draw partygoers out of the building, servants set up wash tubs full of juice and whiskey on the White House lawn.
Oh, yeah.
The White House open house tradition continued until several assassination attempts heightened security concerns. That's the kind of place we tried to be. And we couldn't be cool.
That's the fucking party and trading places at Eddie Murphy's place.
Exactly. I knew when you were saying about a party at the White House. I'm like, I think that happened. The trend ended in 1885 when Grover Cleveland opted and said, he goes, I'll host a parade. Actually,
Grover,
let's
dude.
keep it out in the streets.
Come on.
But yeah, so I remember I read about this somewhere else. This was just like a History Channel breakdown. But in the actual story, I think this went on for like 2 or 3 days or something, and they couldn't get people to leave. And so, yeah, they put a bunch of beer and whiskey and all this shit, and they were like, hey, everyone, we're going to do a special presidential toast under the stars. It's like 3 a.m, and it's going to be this big special thing. Everybody
Let's all out on the lawn.
Get them all out. They lock all the doors and run.
Hose them down.
Yeah, that is actually what happened. But yeah, that's how fucking great this place could have been.
I know,
you know
dude.
what I mean? But
well, guess who's bringing it back?
Donald Trump.
DJT, baby. That's fucking who. That's who. All right. Now, I think people will find this pretty funny. Since we're into this kind of shit.
Why couldn't we have stayed that way as a people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it was supposed to be...
It was supposed to be fun.
Well, it was supposed to. It was actually. That's why you had to be an adventurer and a brave person to come here. But then it was also supposed to not. There wasn't supposed to be giant castle walls.
Dude, we
around
all
the
know
kingdom,
this.
You know?
Remember, like there would be times in your like teen years where you would figure out a place that nobody partied and shit, and then you just have these fucking off the wall bangers. Like I'm talking about, like it would be like an abandoned house or like some VFW basement that nobody even knows existed, whatever.
Under the bridge.
But then eventually, too many people would notice, and then it would be like sort of co-opted, and then eventually it was like not fun anymore.
Yeah.
You've seen this. This happens. This is how things happen.
Yeah, I guess. It got too cool.
Yeah, and then it just gets. You know what? This is a perfect example.
The entire, it's like a macrocosm, right?
Yeah,
you do that sometimes,
or microcosm.
No, but the country is the macro of like a popular artsy neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, all right, or like Austin, Texas, or like East Village, New York, or some shit. Where it's like too many people find out, or it happened in New Orleans, and all of a sudden it's generic and it's fucking stupid.
Exactly,
and it's got a bunch of new rules.
Everything's got to be anodyne. Everything's got to be sterilized and nerfed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know who's fucking,
the country is just a giant version of the East Village, or whatever cool
San
neighborhood.
Fran.
Yeah.
Nah, that's got more shit on the streets, I think, at this point.
I mean, back then though.
No, I'm saying now San Francisco's got more.
Back in the days of this Andrew Jackson event.
Oh no,
the streets were like made of shit. That's all.
Well,
there
San
was,
Fran
dude.
was very Chinatowny, wasn't it back then? It was that was a gold rush.
Huge Chinese
They all went
settlement.
there.
You know, it was a big problem.
Yeah.
We took care of it though.
Was it a problem?
Well,
depending on who you ask.
Yeah, and you ask old Andy Jackson, he didn't really he didn't really take too kindly to
the Chinamen
encampments,
yeah,
of Asiatic folks.
That's true.
So yeah, he was known as an engine killer. They're technically Asiatic tribes.
I know.
So.
I mean, some people dispute that for some fucking stupid reason, but anyways.
Seems obvious to me.
Seems very obvious to me.
You ever
Now,
seen a
what?
Japanese guy and a Mexican guy? They're exactly the same sometimes. Anyways, go ahead.
A lot of times. All right. So check this out. This is a story I came across. This Bay Area school district spent $250,000 on woke kindergarten program. Test scores fell even further. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay.
I didn't believe this was real either when I first saw it.
It's hilarious, dude. So
look at who's this guy in this picture.
This guy is the dissenter. This is Glassbrook elementary teacher Tiger. His name's Tiger Craven Neely, by the way.
Stop dressing like the enemy, sir.
Also, Tiger Craven Neely.
That's his name.
You're obviously an apparition.
Yeah.
That was fucking hearkened here by some fucking, dark warlock.
And tigers are always hungry. Since when are they not craving a little Neely? You know what I mean?
Jesus. Somebody. Hey, Paul, you want to switch spots?
All right, let's get back into it.
All right. A Hayward Elementary School struggling to boost low test scores and dismal student attendance is spending $250,000 in federal money for an organization called Woke Kindergarten to train teachers to confront white supremacy, disrupt racism and oppression, and remove those barriers to learning. Because that's why these kids aren't fucking reading.
Dude, I like how they act like it's 1942 Alabama still,
So
and it's like
stupid,
there's
dude.
obviously a lot of white teachers being mean to the black kids, right? I mean,
Dude,
let's
this
get
is
an organization.
San Francisco. This is the Bay Area.
Yeah, like we need an
This
organization
is
to.
the most left place on the planet.
They should have to cite exactly what they think is going on.
That's what I'm saying. They never will.
Yeah. They can't.
No, they can't. It's not okay. The woke kindergarten sessions train teachers on concepts and curriculum that's available to use in classrooms with any of Glassbrook Elementary's 474 students. The sessions are funded through a federal program meant to help the country's lowest performing schools boost student achievement. But 2 years into the 3-year contract...
Wait, hold on. Well, let's guess what happened. Is there
Okay.
any way to guess based on everything like this we've ever seen in the history of the fucking world?
Yeah.
It
worked perfectly.
A self-proclaimed woke anything will always eat itself. I don't care if it's a fucking cupcake shop. We saw that.
Also
ended in disaster.
I'll say this. If you're trying to tackle low performance of students by confronting white supremacy and disrupting racism and oppression to remove barriers to learning, your results are not going to be good.
Well, and also...
because that's not what it is.
Do you think that's what's going on in a group of 5-year-olds?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
like,
what's not letting them learn their fucking ABCs.
Right.
Like, this approach is the stupidest. Of course you're not going. So, all right.
But we're supposed to just be locked in forever to these ideas. Like, so they're supposed to
We
just be
ain't.
like self-validating ideas that we're just locked into forever. If they just go, well, no, it's inclusive. It's
Yes,
it's like-
exactly. Well, this is the
no,
thing.
you
They're
gotta
losing their
say,
teeth, man.
Back in the day, they were like, they won't let the black kid in the pool, and you're like, oh, that's fucked up. Okay, that's
Let him in. What the fuck are we doing?
There's
man?
a problem.
Stupid.
You identified it. Now we're
Yeah.
like, okay, that's.
But
not,
now
you
it's
know.
to the point where it's a postmodern fucking
They
trick.
won't say what the issue is.
It's a little fucking three Monty, three-card Monty.
That's what I mean.
what it is.
They don't
It's
have
this,
to say
This is
anymore.
what postmodernism is. It's like, well, there is no absolutes. Everything is this. It's all very vague. There's these institutional powers that are not seen by anyone but us.
Yeah.
It's fucking nonsense. But anyway, all right.
We're all going to be speaking French before the end of the decade.
But 2 years into the 3-year contract with Woke Kindergarten, a for-profit company, student achievement at Glassbrook has fallen, prompting some teachers to question whether the money was well spent, given the needs of the students, who are predominantly low income. 2/3 of the students are English learners, and more than 80% are Hispanic Latino. So again, they're hurting who they purport to want to help. This is just a blueprint at this point. We know this story, but it just keeps fucking happening.
What were those statistics at the end? 80% is
Hispanic.
Okay, and what did it say right before that? There was two numbers. 2/3 is something, and 80%.
Oh, here. English had to go up. Yeah, English learners. 2/3 of the students are English learners, and more than 80% Hispanic Latino.
Okay, so we know about those communities.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a bunch of white teachers there fucking with them? No. There are probably a bunch of Hispanic teachers there getting along just fine.
And not Hispanic. Let's be specific. They're Mexicans. You're in California. You share a border with Mexico.
Yeah.
Like for me, having Mexican family, you know what I mean? I never like to say that I'm Mexican. You know,
he tries to get in on the white thing all the time. I'm like, get out of here. I don't care how many years you shop at Kohl's. You can't come in.
Nice pea coat.
There's enough of us already.
Back.
Yeah. And we're not reproducing at a rate to sustain ourselves. Well, that's a different.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's but no,
we're losing our national identity. All right. Sorry.
But no, yeah, it always annoys me though. It's like this Latino, Hispanic, this just fucking. I get it if you're talking broadly, but these are Mexican teachers, these are Mexican students. These are not fucking.
And also, don't act like you're going to combine all into one. We all know that you all hate each other.
Yeah,
everybody
Guatemalans
who's next to each
are
other.
not.
Yeah,
dude, you call a Guatemalan a Mexican. Call a Puerto Rican a fucking Cuban.
You know who
they don't like it.
You know who doesn't care or doesn't know? Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
The whites. Okay?
Yeah, really, guys, right?
We never would have known the difference or given a shit. You could have just let it go at we call you all Mexican, but now we had to get all intricate and fucking now you need a name
intersectional.
Yeah, and then like a global name for you and stuff. Come on. And you're right. Let's just go from now on. They're all Mexican.
Yeah, like we don't discern between whites. Like we don't say, like if it's
they
like,
don't want us.
The white. No, but you know what I mean. It's not like we discern between the white population of suburbs or something between Polish descent and
they used to though.
That's what I'm saying, but they don't. They're just like that's white people.
Well, that's another.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is just Mexican people. We're just Mexican.
Right.
Leave us alone.
Well, that's another.
Let us fucking procreate, for fuck's sake. We'll be in charge soon.
That's another trick of the media.
And that's when I'm like, haha, I am Mexican.
Yeah, after the whole thing.
We've infiltrated pretty good.
Right. See, that's the thing. And I've been on to you for a long time. But that white thing is interesting because, like, my dad's generation, it was like,
totally.
It's a Polak,
totally.
it's a WAP, it's a
Yeah,
fucking Chinese, it's a whatever.
Well, that's not white, but
and it's
a Frenchman,
a Kazakh,
a Kraut,
a Kazakhstan, a Uzbekistan guy, a fucking, you know what I mean? How they all used to give each other shit. In the Uzbek neighborhoods in Chicago, Turkmenistan guys, Armenians,
the Armenians, the Syrians. The Assyrians, who are some sort of biblical lost tribe.
The whites of old, and the Irish, and whatever.
Yeah,
they used
exactly.
To,
the Irish, the Germans. This was really the big ones. The Swedes, the Irish, Germans, the fucking Polish.
And as I understand it, it wasn't until after civil rights that they started kind of trying to glom whites all together. You know what I mean? And because the same is like, I think blacks is another thing. Whites and blacks. What better thing to pit against each other?
I know.
Right?
Yeah, no. You're just
like,
one thing. That's it.
You're right. And, and I think there's a lot of people that identify as black, but their ethnic heritage is probably much more complicated or even something they never would have guessed. Pacific Islander, Native American, blah, blah, blah. And things are really mixed up and weird, but they really want us as just one or the other. You know, I found out
two monolithic communities.
Now I found out I'm like more Russian than Italian.
Yeah,
the hell do I do with that? You know, I don't.
You didn't look in the mirror?
I mean, I don't know.
What the fuck are you talking about?
You
look like Putin's nephew. You don't look like a fucking Dago, you fool.
I used to more. Wait till the middle of the summer. We'll reassess. But yeah.
Does he not look Russian?
Well, I think so now. Now that it's in your head.
Yeah, you look fucking Russian as shit.
Paul, what do you think?
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't look... Well, you could be Russian, I guess. Actually, all three of us could be Russian. Russians are very diverse people.
Yeah, we could be all three be Mexican.
Yeah,
or how about
true.
this? American.
Hey, you know what? You know what that... That makes me think something we need to do real quick.
I am starting to look more and more Russian every day.
I know.
Ever
We
since
need
I
to put
became aware of it, it's taking over. It's like
psychosomatic.
Yeah, it's like the Ren and Stimpy episode when Ren realizes Stimpy brings him a cake and he goes, "You're 10 today. That's 70 in dog years." And he's like, "What?" And all his bones start and he just gets all old real quick. That's what happened to me with the Russian thing. I did start, dude.
All right, well, I'm gonna wash it away real quick.
I want to get a tracksuit. I'm weird. Look at this thing is getting there already. There we go. Yeah.
Let's wash away some of that Russian with the Bird of Liberty, boys.
All hail the Bird of Liberty. That's right, it's the Radioville Bird of Liberty coming at you.
Bird of Liberty!
Every week at 8 p.m. Don't touch that dog.
Get your dose of freedom here on Radioville. Population True!
So anyways, you want to take a look at that teacher? Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's just bask.
Thank you for surviving the prayer with us. Okay.
Now, let's take a look at that, the owner of Woke Kindergarten, shall we? Want to have a look at her?
Mm-hmm. Because it's going to be wacky.
It's going to be wacky.
Can guarantee, oh boy, you can just tell already.
I know, right?
By the
Hey, look at that. By the eyebrow. Look, that is an expression. That is an expression that we all know.
Right.
It's about to fucking fuck your shit up.
Like,
or
yeah.
I guess not that. It could be
because she doesn't have to talk like that.
Right? Fuck your shit up.
Right. It could be anything.
Could
right.
be a lot of things. But that look is universal though. Like,
there is an eyebrow.
Like, I know so much fucking more than you. You're such a fucking idiot. That's the look.
It's like an eyebrow laden sneer. There's like an eyebrow to sneer ratio, really. That's off putting, and you just
I already know what's coming,
dude. You just have like a primal,
like here, if you
rejection of it.
If you got a video message from like a girlfriend or something like that, and that's the first thing you see,
boy, would I be excited.
Yeah. You're like, anyone really?
Yeah,
just please talk to
any
me.
correspondence of any type, electronic or otherwise.
Pen pal, I'll take it.
Sure.
No, but like if that's what you open up and that's the freeze, you know what I mean, and you're like, oh shit, you know what's coming.
Looks like Orlando Bloom.
Or he or they.
Whatever, yeah.
All right, but let's take a look. Now, the video is called Educator Calls for an End to USA. Let's take a look at what she's got to say.
This is who runs this organization?
This is the owner,
has
the founder.
Obtained tons of money?
Yes, this is the founder that was just paid $250,000.
What a cheap fucking trick, dude. Jesus Christ.
Just paid $250,000 to make the kids fail worse.
Yeah,
This is her business model. Now, but this is her take on the great US of A.
And I am 100% 10 toes down anti-Israel. I believe Israel has no right to exist. I believe the United States has no right to exist. I believe every settler colony who has committed genocide against native peoples, against indigenous people, has no right to exist.
So,
well, whatever. I honestly don't even care about that.
I do, because she doesn't want me where I live to exist.
Yeah.
It's a fucking annoying take.
I don't want her mustache to exist.
Yeah, she should get that in check.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, like, at least that's somewhat of a logical thing to. It's like, okay, this.
How so?
Well,
sir?
she has the idea.
Inclusive.
No, she has the idea that somehow the land is gained illegitimately. Like,
I don't care. Every fucking country. That's what I'm saying. That's the most superficial, idiotic, fucking fourth grade take on anything.
I don't know when it comes to Israel.
All places. What was it before that? Who was that taken from?
I mean, I got it. It's just that there's certain people that I don't know. They seem to kind of. Well, I don't know.
But every place was taken by every other place. Like, it doesn't matter if you keep going back.
But that's kind of why. That's kind of why I don't feel like I really need to hold on to this place. Like, I don't really have any allegiance to the United States of America per se. You know what I mean?
do.
I don't know.
I do in the way that I think that, again, what I've sort of come to over the last handful of years is looking at a place that has achieved something that no one else has, which is a complete diaspora. Well, not a diaspora, a complete diverse set of cultures held together by a more unifying, like codified, ethical. You know what I'm saying?
He's just saying more words to try to figure out what the last one's going to be.
Yeah. Well, no, like one shared set of ideals. You know what I mean? The ideals of like just the American dream, the pursuit of happiness, the freedom to do what you want.
We do great
all of these
here.
things.
There's a lot.
But my point is nobody's been able to do it on this scale at all, and especially with as many different cultures that are like accepted and celebrated and integrated and all that shit. Like nobody's been able to do that. So I was a very, very harsh critic to this country. But in my mind now, if that were able to be and not like stymied by some fucking shadowy, you know what I mean, elite interests, it would be a good idea. So then when I see somebody with such a superficial take on that and just being like, you have no right to exist. What does then? What has a right to exist? There was
I don't really care. So
what time period do we stop at? Like, okay, those are the ones, and we have to go back to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's
when
the same
in
as
history, it's fucking
environmentalists
stupid.
are like, we have to restore this back to like how
when
they recorded it in the early 1800s,
the Holocene,
which was
the fuck you want?
15,000 years after people got here. You know, and probably brought everything from Asia with them.
It's such a small view of it. You know what
I
mean?
understand
When
that.
I see this.
I understand that. I just doesn't really make me mad when somebody goes, this place shouldn't exist. I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel that way some days too.
Yeah, but you know who
Whatever.
should care about that is fucking public schools spending taxpayer money in the country that the person you just gave $250,000 to fucking do nothing wants the country to not exist.
I get you.
That's fucking stupid.
She's part of that dumbass movement, you know, and whatever.
It irritates the shit out of me.
No,
clearly.
I understand. I just, is there something worse that she does? Because,
no, it's just fucking, it's just the smug, simple take that these people all have, that all this fucking ultra left woke bullshit. She named her company Woke Kindergarten.
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing?
Can we see it again really quick? Because there's also other irritating things about it. Like, I get that she's stupid. I just also am like, whatever. I just
again, this high eyebrow look every time.
Yeah.
It's like, see?
Back it up to where she was saying that again, because it is irritating that she's so feeling it.
And she has to do it with this cadence of like some sort of exactly,
and dancing.
Like she's exactly. It's performative. It's not substantive. It's always all performative with this type of shit.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's very obvious to anyone. Yeah.
Well, and it's a cheap coffee shop performance. You know, basically.
So sassy.
And I am 100% 10 toes down anti-Israel. I believe Israel has no right to exist. I believe the United States has no right to exist. I believe every settler colony who has committed genocide against native peoples, against indigenous people, has no right to
exist. It is retarded to be like, what do you mean no right to exist? How are you going to
you decimate everyone here? Or what are you saying? You break it into some sort of balkanized, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Iteration of it and give a bunch back to the indigenous people. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
And all of a sudden this country has even more casinos and liquor stores than it did before, if that's possible. And you know what I mean? What are they gonna do? They were here for 15,000 years before us. They didn't have fucking a car going. They didn't have anything.
You know, William Montgomery on Kill Tony?
Yeah.
He goes, one of his jokes, you know, he reads them. He's just like, okay, hear me out. He's like, what if Israel gives Palestine casinos? I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. Well, it was probably funny on their show when they did that.
I thought it was hilarious. All right, let me see what else she says here.
I believe in a free Palestine, from the river to the sea. I have an unwavering respect for children.
The willingness,
love and care and compassion for children, a commitment to children and to their freedom, to their learning, to their lives, to sustaining their lives.
It's the willingness to
People
make,
don't talk like this.
well, and also just to make like vast, sweeping, vapid statements of people that go like,
Yeah, like there's so many
just
people that are like,
I believe Palestine should be free to like. Okay,
yeah,
you
but what does that mean?
Believe that all you want. That doesn't do anything, and you're not good or cool for it. It's
also,
like
you don't know what that means. That means the fucking displacement of millions of other people.
I've always.
So what the
hated
fuck
this.
are you talking about?
Can I tell you something that happened when I was a kid?
I mean, are we getting into this?
I was about like 10, right? And I go down to the Museum of Science and Industry or the Field Museum. I can't remember which it would have been. But one of the museums here in Chicago for the local audience.
Hey, say hi to those bozos down in St. Louis.
Anyways, we go down there and they have a Tibetan exhibit, right? And
Sure.
they had just put this like giant. And this is before the internet or anything.
Tibet on what?
And whether or not I can get through this story without it being ruined by some kind of pun.
Oh, I'm the one.
So
all right,
there's a there's like a big bulletin board with like Post-it notes, and it's hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 of these notes that say "Free Tibet."
Oh yeah.
Free Tibet, Tibetans,
And
should
it was
be free.
freed the next day,
And
folks.
this is the thing. So even as a 10-year-old, I looked at this and I was like, how fucking arbitrary and meaningless and stupid, and like what a stupid exercise in futility and your own like self-serving nature to just
that
go,
was virtue
I
signaling.
said free. That was it.
That
then.
that's
Look at me. I'm doing the free Tibet now too. So I wrote, I swear to God, this is true. I went and got one of the notes and I wrote enslaved Tibet and I put it on there. And I put it on there and my mom got really pissed off and made me take it down. She's like, you can't do that. They're sending that to Tibet.
You're like, come on, Mom. I know.
Like, I
That's
know.
the funny part.
You don't think Buddhists and
Dude,
Taoists
they're
are going to
fucking
appreciate this?
I know they're going to
Like,
get it and
yeah.
be like, okay, that's hilarious.
Right. That kid, find him. He's the next Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
He's.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it works sometimes in Buddhism. You know, you got to show them you got a sense of humor.
Yeah, you got to show them your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, no, it's not. She
Gotta
made me-
shuck and jive.
She made me take it down. She's like, "Don't you want some Buddhist slave to see that?
Don't you want
be even sadder?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of."
What else we got?
That lady sucked.
Yeah, she's just terrible. It's
We're
just
not gonna watch
another-
the end of her.
I don't give a fuck about
I wonder how many takes that took her.
That's what I mean. It's so fake.
Yeah.
It's so resoundingly fucking fake. Anyone can see that.
Get right on.
Oh, no,
the mic
he's-
for
yeah.
It's like when Biden sends out a message.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
Super Bowl. Did you see that?
I didn't.
What was it?
Something about buying pop and chips. and
Oh
shit.
yeah, that's right. I did see somebody talking about this, where it was like because he's usually the president addresses people during the Super Bowl, and he didn't do that this year. But they like
I
sent
wonder
some
why.
pre-recorded message. Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit, because they had to fucking.
It took him
They had two
380
fucking
takes.
yeah. They had two fucking electrodes on his back, like just so he can be like, huh?
Yeah.
Hey guys.
He was like those guys
I
on
buy
the,
chips.
the International Space Station. He was actually just on wires and
Yeah.
green screen. Like,
Yes.
yeah. Which he has been for years. I know people that
Pickle
think.
Joe.
What?
Pickle Joe.
Pickle Joe. I don't know.
Oh, a Pickle Rick reference?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know people that I know people that truly do believe, and then I look at the pictures and I'm like, maybe that
That it's not the same guy?
That it's not the same guy.
I know,
and
I've
it's like
seen
a
it.
fucking prosthetic face and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't look like the same guy.
It kind of doesn't.
Like
right?
the eyebrow, you don't change bone like the structure of your face as you age.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The soft parts change. The fucking eyebrow ridge, like the skull ridges under the brow, don't change. Like I've looked at, 'em, I'm like, what the fuck? It's a different shaped skull.
Yeah, and his ears.
And I don't care which one it is.
His ears look like they've gotten closer into his head.
Yeah.
Instead of
like his skull is
falling out.
narrowed a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's becoming Nosferatu-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which I'm all for. If we can get vampires to run the fucking country, they got nothing to lose. They can't die.
Honestly, man, what would be different? I mean, like, it would, you know what I mean? Like, how would it, my view that it really probably truly doesn't actually matter extends all the way to that, and all the way to like, I don't care. Put a fucking whale in there. A whale that we've never even seen. A random whale that you have a tracker on. It's out in the ocean somewhere. Be the president. Don't care.
And then it's just
yeah, man, just swim around. And the whole country will be on fucking sports bet apps just betting on the whale all the time. Which way is it going to fucking go? We're all insane. Everything's insane. Everybody's fucking just constantly. The way people gamble now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's retarded. But
it's nuts, right?
I am I'm way more worried about it than you seem to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because this really can turn into a fucking shithole. Like, this happens to countries. Like, they go from prosperous to fucking basically begging for food and killing each other in very short amounts of time when stuff happens, man.
Everything is like a cycle. I don't know of any civilization that's just been good the whole time, right?
No, but they also didn't have the benefit of looking back at previous massive empires.
Sure.
We do, you know what I mean? We know what not to do, and we're fucking doing it.
Do we?
Yeah.
I mean,
this.
Another reason why we should get a vampire in there.
Yes, they know.
How many years they've had to collect all this wisdom.
Yeah, that's where we're going. We're going vampires 2024.
Actually, yeah, just get one of those guys, Keanu Reeves or Brad Pitt or one of these guys that's been around for like 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Just be like, dude, just come on, handle this for us.
Handle this. You know what's going on.
Go back in time. Remember when Michael Jackson faked his death, went back in time and became a pharaoh? And everybody was like, wait, look at this sarcophagus.
Yeah,
it looks
that's
exactly like Michael Jackson.
But it was funny because it was Michael Jackson like post 10 ops. It wasn't like original Michael Jackson.
It was current Michael Jackson.
It was Michael Jackson that would have had the
nobody actually looked
resources to go back in time.
Right. Nobody looked like that in real life ever.
No.
Until him.
Yeah.
It had to be that
he made himself into an Egyptian picture.
He did.
He made himself into a hieroglyph.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. Michael Jackson surgeried himself into a hieroglyph.
I mean, what do you do? You've been an international superstar since you're 5.
Well, I know what some of them do.
Well, I mean, we know he did.
I read too much about it, and then Facebook fucks with me.
He did every possible thing you could do on the planet, including some things that we just don't want to mention.
We definitely don't condone.
Now,
not here on Radioville.
Not if we want to make that sweet advertising money. But then you've done every single thing since you were 5 years old. I mean, at 5 years old, he's fucking the Supremes probably, you know, and he's living life. He's up in Antarctica ice fishing with Jack LaLanne.
Could be, yeah.
You know, he's going. Him
and the grandpa from the Munsters are out on safari at some point. It was fun, dude.
Yeah, exactly. He's mudlarking with LBJ.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was a famous one.
Right. I mean, so he's done it all. What can you do? All right, well, here's the one thing that's left. There's this company, and they'll only contact you if you're like, you know.
Michael Jackson.
If you're that level.
Yeah.
And here's what we offer. We will.
And they're outside of time, so they watch us, and they see who gets to that level. Yeah. And then they approach.
That's what happened to Kanye West's mom. Yeah. And she's a pharaoh right now. And they approach you, and they go, hey, you know that doctor that kills everyone? That's not really what's going on. He's going to come in. He's going to fake the whole thing. We're going to send you back to Egypt. We got it all set up already.
Yeah. Kemet.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Jeffrey Epstein will be there. He's there right now for the reason you want him there.
Yeah.
Now we can do this for you, you know. But even though I know the chronology is way out of whack on that, but
yeah,
still a good idea. We can workshop that.
Well, not live though.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you do it. So the company, you know, the guy that runs it, he's a real bozo.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm much more worried about this trajectory that we're on right now, I guess.
Yeah. Why? What do you think's gonna happen?
I mean, hopefully the right people fucking take power or get, you know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah.
Seize the right people. Like the rural type. Right?
With the red hats.
Right, folks. I call them.
No.
Oh, okay. What did you mean? Sorry.
People with our best interest in mind.
Yeah, I think I gotcha.
Yeah, people like us.
So you're thinking the Republicans?
I mean, if that is who it has to be right now, then it's not even the Republicans. The Republicans are pretty much against Trump too. he seems to be the only one saying, like, no, we have to look out for our country. We have to make sure that our fucking economy actually works before we do other shit. We don't need to be in proxy wars. You know what I mean? We need to get manufacturing back over here. We need to, lead some of these tech, industries that like we used to lead the world in things. We need to stabilize the dollar. Like, that's the shit I need to hear. I don't need to hear about fucking institutional racism and fucking vague postmodern proclamations.
Yeah. At this point,
that's what I need to hear.
I could do without the philosophical and social pandering.
I don't need it. I don't want it.
I could do without the shaming of a society that wants to have its own best interests in mind.
Every other country is expected to have their best interests in mind at all times. We're the only ones that are supposed to be like, no, sorry, we won't get too big, we won't do that good. Fuck off, dude.
Let everyone else do whatever they want, and you be guilty and play the bad guy and be lectured constantly. We talked about the NFL. I mean, that's one of the complaints they've had for decades at this point. Is like, stop fucking lecturing us about everything.
Do your job.
I don't need to hear, dude. When I quit watching sports, Jesus Christ, almost 20 years ago at this point. I remember I was like 19, 20, 21 maybe, and I remember being so irritated by the constant, like, now we want to remind you, don't drink and drive, don't blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that was during like the Mothers Against Drunk Driving campaigns.
But it was also like, and make sure you get a flu shot and do this. And I'm like, dude, I'm not watching you guys anymore. Yeah, fuck off.
You, dude.
Being lectured by everyone constantly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so that it doesn't have to be the Republicans. In fact, I would rather it not be the Republicans, but it seems like the only person saying some of these things are people like Tucker Carlson and fucking Donald Trump and Joe Rogan. And it's insane that like this media space has opened up, and in a big way, Elon Musk. I mean, it sort of, to me, and maybe to our demise, falls to them, people like that are like, no, wait a minute. We can't just let the intelligence apparatus control everything and censor everything and curate a narrative that everyone's supposed to just blindly buy into. And even though you see evidence every single day in front of you that's not the way that, you know what I mean? That's not what I want. And these are the only people that are like, I mean, imagine if Tucker Carlson doesn't buy Twitter. We have no idea of the FBI, the NSA, the CIA's involvement in the censoring of Hunter's laptop.
Elon Musk.
Elon, who'd I say?
Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah, no, Elon Musk, I meant.
Like, imagine Tucker Carlson doesn't buy Twitter.
You're like, okay, this is a tough one.
Done. Okay.
No, but imagine Elon doesn't. We have no idea of the intelligence pressure on social media companies to censor specific people, specific political narratives. We have no idea about that. If he doesn't do that, it's almost game over. You know what I mean? Like, it opened up a space where people were like, oh, I knew it.
Yeah.
And it showed and which has not been talked about on actual like network media at all. You haven't seen any coverage other than to sort of malign Michael Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi, the reporters that did most of the reporting on it. That's really all you saw. But what really happened was like it showed concretely. So that's what I'm saying is like, it's concerning to me, man. I don't know. I'm freaking out, dude.
If anything, though, I mean, If anything, though, you look at one time, the mainstream media, it seemed like such a monolith, and you would go, God, is it ever going to be possible to kind of wake people up from this fucking hypnosis and stuff? And now you go, like, the numbers are so severely on our side, it's mind-boggling. However,
how are you still?
However, the average person, even if they understand all this stuff, hasn't made the flip in their perception to understand.
But I see it happening more and more and more and more, though. For sure.
But it just makes me wonder if it's even possible.
I guess I'm white-pilled.
Or if too many people are just going to always be programmed to be slaves, basically. You know?
Yeah.
Because people like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I gave up a while ago.
I don't want to, though.
Yeah.
I'm moving to Texas. I'm taking my guns and I'm moving to Texas.
I might be moving into your house after you leave and go to Texas. Is that cool?
Rent hike.
I assume you're just abandoning the place, right?
Yeah, furnished.
I mean, you're not going to do anything with it. You're
get
leaving.
Some other shit.
I can live here. Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to let you know.
All right. Well, we are 2.5 in. Should we just call it? We had like one more thing. Michael Rappaport. I want to make a longer thing.
Oh, okay.
That's and that's also standalone too. Yeah, that's just,
Yeah, we'll do it next week.
That's
I want to do
Rappaport.
some alien stuff next week.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Vinny has some alien stuff in the.
Yeah, there's been some crazy shit that's happened that we haven't really touched on. I know anybody that's interested in it has, but over the past like 6 months, there's been a few really nutty fucking stories.
Yeah.
That I'm going to drill down on this week and bring some interesting 911 calls,
Yeah.
and some video and stuff. Because people always go, "Oh well, with all the cameras everywhere, why are there not videos of UFOs all the time?" There actually are.
Yeah, there is.
And I'm sure some are fake and
They're probably
whatever. blah, blah, blah.
confiscated too.
Right, and the
You know what I
same
mean?
old shit like that could be happening too. But it's like I see constantly, new shit uploaded, and
Yeah.
people go, "Why isn't there?" Like, well, because you don't look it up,
Yeah.
and nobody just brought it
turn
into
on
your
the
room
fucking-
and
Yeah.
and just forced you to look at it. So
Yeah.
so we'll do some of that next week, and I guess we'll go out to the Russian music and we'll get the hell out of here.
It was good being back in the studio though. That was fun.
Yeah,
I like it way better. What?
I'm kind of tired and hungry today. Next week I'll do
what?
Well, today I had like 15 cups of coffee. Right? No joke, maybe close to that.
It's sick.
And then I started having like a panic attack and just you know what I mean? Well, it's the same thing I do a lot. I drink way too much coffee. I smoke way too much weed. And then I just pace around in my kitchen, and my kitchen is tilted, it's weird. And so it gets you a little off kilter, and I just start, just pacing around, like fucking just questioning God about the meaning, and just, so I was doing that. So
it's falling on deaf ears.
Then I didn't have, right, that's all, I just feel it just fucking echoing back in a fucking meaningless abyss.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, I better not have any more coffee or weed. And so I couldn't drink coffee.
Yeah, then you crash.
After like 3 or 4 o'clock. So so then I'm getting pretty tired now.
Yeah.
Next week,
a little better plan.
No coffee until 2 p.m.
Also, maybe we'll
that
have
way,
drinks by then.
By the time we hit the show, I'll be in full-blown existential crisis.
There you go.
Which is what you guys want.
That is what we want, actually, yeah.
That has happened a couple times.
Yes.
So, one time I almost passed out. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye.